Chapter 1401. Her figure was as fast as a gust of wind, whizzing past. Other than the sound beside their ears, it was impossible to capture her movements. Everyone was stunned. They had not expected that Yin Luofeng, who is only a low-level Saint King, will be able to move at such a fast speed. By the time they had regained their senses, the young girl had already appeared behind one of them. The sword in her hand had a piercingly cold glint. It was fast and sharp. If that person had not reacted in time and turned around to block, his head would have been chopped off by the sharp sword. Damn it! That person broke out in a cold sweat. He was already a mid-level Saint King. How could he be defeated by a low-level Saint King? However, before he could recover from his shock, Yin Luofeng's attack was like a meteor shower. It came crashing down and did not give him any chance to react. The two swords collided and a powerful force penetrated his body, causing him to retreat a few steps. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his face instantly turned pale. He lifted his head in shock to look at the young girl in white who had appeared in front of him. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The rest of the people rushed towards Yin Luofeng from behind, their attacks mercilessly aimed at the young girl. Unexpectedly, the young girl seemed to have eyes on the back of her head. She suddenly turned around and waved the sword in her hand. It was extremely sharp and could cut through iron like it was mud. One of the people was caught off guard, and his chest was slashed by the sword. Blood flowed freely, and he was in an extremely sorry state. This girl does not look like a low-level Saint King. Her strength is at least between a mid-level and a high-level Saint King. Coupled with her speed, we are no match for her. One of them finally came to his senses and said hurriedly, "Quick, let's go back and call for reinforcements." Hearing this, everyone no longer had any thoughts of fighting and turned around to escape. However, they had only taken a few steps when a person in white floated over and blocked their way. The young girl was still smiling, her demonic aura overflowing. "You want to leave? Where do you want to go?" "Girl, we are from the Witch Demon Valley." One of them suppressed the panic in his heart and said, "If you fight with us, you will be making an enemy of the Witch Demon Valley. You have to think carefully." Yin Luofeng raised his eyebrows slightly. "You mean that if I let you go, the Witch Demon Valley will let me go?" Hearing this, that person thought that Yin Luofeng intended to let them go. He hurriedly nodded, "That's right. If you let us leave, the people of the Witch Demon Valley will definitely let you go." Since that's the case, Yin Luofeng narrowed his eyes. "Then you can leave." As soon as she finished speaking, the people from the Witch Demon Valley understood what she meant. They let out a sigh of relief and said with a smile, "Miss, if you let us go this time, our Witch Demon Valley will definitely not blame you. Brothers, let's go first." Once they returned to the Witch Demon Valley, they would ask other experts to kill her. Perhaps it was Yin Luofeng's words that made the people of the Witch Demon Valley lower their guard. They laughed and walked towards the direction of the Witch Demon Mountain. They didn't even look at Yin Luofeng and walked past her. Just as they walked past Yin Luofeng, suddenly, a long sword pierced through them from behind. One of them didn't even have time to react before the sword pierced through his back, causing him to widen his eyes in shock. Until the moment he died, he didn't understand what had happened. "Damn girl, what are you doing?" The others reacted, and their faces instantly turned pale. They asked, "You let us go, why are you going back on your word?" Chapter 1402. Yin Luofeng smiled lazily. "I did let you go, but did I say that I would let you go?" She did say that she would let them go, but she did not say that she would let them go. Hearing this, everyone's expression changed, and they glared at Yin Luofeng. "You're shameless." Yin Luofeng smiled. "You're not strong enough, and you can't leave. Are you blaming me?" At this moment, everyone realized that Yin Luofeng and his people had no intention of letting them go from the beginning. "You're really not afraid of the Witch Demon Valley?" Even now, they had not given up on using the Witch Demon Valley to threaten her. But they never thought that Yin Luofeng knew that they were from the Witch Demon Valley from the beginning. If she was really afraid of the Witch Demon Valley, why would she attack them? Although the Witch Demon Valley was powerful, she was determined to make an enemy out of them. "Your Witch Demon Valley wants to kill me. Even if I let you go, the Witch Demon Valley will still send stronger people to kill me. Since that's the case, why don't I drag a few of you down with me? Yin Luofeng's lips curled up, and he smiled evilly. Let's go. One of them gritted his teeth and charged at Yin Luofeng. Countless vines sprouted from the ground. These vines seemed to have a life of their own as they searched for the path of the Witch Demon Valley members and pierced through their chests. Yin Luofeng's fingers caressed the vines as a demonic smile appeared on her face. The small tree's weapon is still better. Based on her strength alone, these people could not hurt her. Similarly, she could not kill everyone in a short amount of time. Just now, she was able to easily kill one of them because that person was too careless and allowed her to sneak up on him. That was why she used the small tree's weapon, killing without leaving a trace. Let's go. Yin Luofeng looked at the stunned Huang Yingying and shrugged. If she was a pampered young miss, Huang Yingying would have been scared silly. But after these days of experience, she understood that this was a world where the strong preyed on the weak. Showing mercy to the enemy was being cruel to yourself. If someone wanted to kill her, they had to act first and kill the enemy. Therefore, Huang Yingying was shocked because of the strength that Yin Luofeng had displayed. You're too slow. Ji Jiutian slowly stood up from his armchair with an infuriating smile on his coquettish face. I've been waiting for so long that my patience has almost run out. You finally dealt with these people. Yin Luofeng rolled his eyes. It's better than you lying down and watching the show. Ji Jiutian smiled and said, You were the one who told me not to interfere, but I didn't let you watch the show either. Ji Jiutian raised his eyebrows. With a wave of his hand, he put away all the items he had taken out and strolled to Yin Luofeng's side. Do you need me to help you deal with the people from the Witch Demon Valley? Ji Jiutian's devilish smile became even wider. If you want my help, how about kissing me? Sure. Yin Luofeng crooked a finger at Ji Jiutian. Come here. This time, it was Ji Jiutian's turn to be stunned. Isn't little Feng infatuated with the Ghost Emperor? Why did he agree to her request so easily? However, he looked at the girl's smiling red lips, and for some reason, he moved his face closer to hers. Then, while Ji Jiutian was still in a daze, Yin Luofeng had already lifted his leg and kicked his balls with a bang. Chapter 1403. Thus, Ji Jiutian's face instantly turned green. The pain made him break out in a cold sweat. My leg has already kissed your balls. How does it feel? Yin Luofeng looked at the ashen-faced Ji Jiutian with a faint smile. If you want to do it again, I don't mind. Ji Jiutian couldn't stop sucking in cold air before he suppressed the rage in his heart. He gritted his teeth. Yin Luofeng, if I die without descendants, will you take responsibility? Yin Luofeng didn't answer him. She only glanced at him and said, I don't like it when people tease me, because I like to tease people more. Ji Jiutian endured the pain and looked at Yin Luofeng. Then I don't mind being teased by you. Hearing this, Yin Luofeng smiled. Sorry, even though I like to tease people, I only tease Yun Xiao. In this lifetime, the only person she had ever taught was Yun Xiao. Aside from her, there was no one else. For some reason, Yin Luofeng's words made Ji Jiutian furrow his brows. He felt a strange emotion flash through his heart, but he didn't know what it was. Little Feng, you could be nicer to me. Ji Jiutian took a deep breath and looked at Yin Luofeng seriously. After all, I'm quite useful. At least I can fight for you. If you treat me better, I can help you even more. Yin Luofeng said with a smile. I already held back earlier. Otherwise, I'm afraid you would really die without descendants. Even though Ji Jiutian was very strong, there were some parts of a man's body that were always the weakest. Of course, with Ji Jiutian's strength, no one else could hurt him except Yin Luofeng, because before anyone could get close to him, they would already die without a complete corpse. Then I really have to thank you for showing mercy. Ji Jiutian sneered. Otherwise, I would have no descendants in this life. Hearing this, Yin Luofeng raised his brows. You're Zhu Qian's old friend? That's right. Ji Jiutian didn't hide it from him from the beginning. So, he admitted it now. You didn't give birth to the younger generation of the Ji family? I don't even have a woman. So how can I have younger generations? They are the descendants of my brothers and sisters. Oh, in that case, you're an old virgin who has lived for 1,000 years. What's the difference between that and having no descendants? Ji Jiuqian was stunned. He actually felt that what Yin Luofeng said was very reasonable. All these years, he hadn't left behind a son or daughter. What was the difference between that and having no descendants? Ji Jiuqian, I have a few questions for you. You've lived for 1,000 years. How strong are you? These words caused Ji Jiuqian's expression to stiffen. He awkwardly turned his head and said, "This is not something you can know. Even if I told you, I'm afraid you wouldn't understand. Also, you haven't touched a woman in the past 1,000 years? Those Rouge girls. You were stunned the moment you saw me. Why would I be interested in that kind of woman?" Ji Jiuqian was very arrogant. How could those vulgar and coquettish sluts from the outside world be worthy of him? Most importantly, Ji Jiuqian was already used to his own beauty. Those women were not as beautiful as him, so it would be strange if he took a fancy to them. As for a man's own desires, it wasn't that he hadn't had them before. But when he saw those women, he instantly lost his sexual interest. If that was the case, he might as well use the Five Fingers Lady to settle it. Chapter 1404. Master, we should go now. Little Mo pouted. As a loyal supporter of Yin Xiao, he did not want his master to talk to Ji Jiuqian. Let's go. Yin Luofeng shrugged and turned around. The sorcerer tribe. The patriarch was giving instructions to someone when he realized that Oya had rushed over. The moment she arrived, she asked, "Patriarch, I asked you to help me. Can you help me?" The tribe leader naturally knew what Oya was talking about. He nodded. "I have already sent a few holy kings to the Wuhui continent." What? When Oya heard this, she cried out in shock. "You sent a saint king? Why not holy venerables?" The clan leader was already very dissatisfied with Oya. When he heard this, his face immediately turned cold. Holy venerables cannot be sent out at will. Moreover, the most powerful person in the Wuhui mainland is only a holy spirit. Sending a holy king is enough. Clan leader, you don't understand. Oya's expression was rather anxious. Yin Luofeng's talent is very strong, and I haven't seen her for a long time. During this period of time, she must have improved a lot again. A few Saint Kings might not be able to capture her. The tribe leader said unhappily, "Holy venerables cannot leave the Sorcerer Valley at will. If a few holy kings are not enough, I can send a few more." Oya's eyes darkened. She wanted to say something, but the tribe leader spoke again. "By the way, holy lady, when are you going to receive the inheritance?" In the sorcerer tribe, there was a special inheritance for the holy lady. It was said that the inheritance would test the holy lady's bloodline. If she did not have the bloodline of the holy lady, she would immediately become a holy king. If the holy lady went to the inheritance, she would definitely be very powerful after leaving. Tribe leader, isn't it too rushed to go to the inheritance now? The holy lady was startled and said, "I want to wait a little longer." You want to wait, but the sorcerer tribe cannot wait any longer. The holy lady must receive the inheritance as soon as possible in order to bear the responsibility of protecting the sorcerer tribe. The tribe leader frowned. A great opportunity to improve her strength was right in front of her. He really did not understand why the holy lady kept rejecting it. Oya rubbed her forehead and said, "Chieftain, I'm also helpless. I was injured by Yin Luofeng, and now I have a hidden injury. If I go to the inheritance, I'm afraid I won't have the energy to accept it. It would be bad if I affect the witch demon tribe." Hearing this, the tribe leader frowned again. The sorcerer demon tribe only knows how to poison insects. We don't have any medical skills. Moreover, the sorcerer demon tribe doesn't interact with other people, so we can't find a doctor for you. Clan leader, don't worry. I have my own medical skills, and I am confident that I can recover from the hidden injuries in my body. Also, Oya was startled, and then her lips curved up. If you capture Yin Luofeng for me and force him to treat me, I will recover quickly. The patriarch fell silent. Under normal circumstances, people above the holy venerate level would not leave the sorcerer demon tribe. If this concerned the entire sorcerer demon tribe, Then he had no choice but to send a holy venerate out. Okay, I will ask the holy venerate to go and capture Yin Luo Feng immediately. Oya lowered her eyelids, and her smile carried a hint of pride. Chieftain, Yin Luo Feng and I have a grudge. He might not be willing to treat me. Moreover, he might fray me to get rid of the treatment. He might say that there is nothing wrong with my body. I hope the chieftain won't believe him. You can leave. I will take care of this. The tribe leader thought for a while, and then said to Oya. Chapter 1405. Oya did not say anything else. She turned and walked out. When she turned around, the smile on her face deepened. She thought to herself, this shaman demon tribe member is so gullible. When he saw the hairpin and the crescent moon tattoo, he believed that I was the holy lady. Now, he believes me with just a few words. If it had been anyone else, Oya would not have succeeded. However, the shaman demon tribe had never interacted with humans. They did not know how to scheme, which was why they were so gullible. She had made up such a lie because she knew that there were no doctors in the shaman demon tribe. After all, if she really accepted the inheritance, her identity would be exposed. Unfortunately, Huang Yingying was already dead. Otherwise, she could use her family's secret blood exchange technique to exchange Huang Yingying's blood with her own. That way, she would be able to enter the inheritance. Oh, you felt a little sad. It seemed that she had to think of another way to get through this. At that moment, Yin Luo Feng and the others had reached the top of the Witch Demon Valley. Then, they saw a large bronze door. This is the Witch Demon Valley. Yin Luo Feng thought for a moment. A light flashed across her eyes. Let's go. She had to enter the Witch Demon Valley. Whether it was to save Hong Wan or to deal with Oya, there were two people standing guard at the entrance of the Witch Demon Valley. When they saw Yin Luo Feng and the others following closely behind, their expressions suddenly changed. Who are you? How dare you come to our Witch Demon Valley? Just as Yin Luo Feng was about to speak, Ji Jiutian stepped forward. His red robe fluttered in the wind. He looked wild and demonic. Inform the leader of the Witch Demon tribe that Ji Jiutian from the Western Continent College has come to visit. Ji Jiutian was not only famous in the Western Continent. Even people from other continents had heard of his glorious deeds. However, no one expected that this man, who had been famous in the mainland for so many years, would be so young. After saying this, Ji Jiutian turned around with a smile. He stared at the young girl's beautiful face. Under normal circumstances, I do not like to fight. Unless he didn't fight. Once he did, he would destroy an entire clan. What happened? At that moment, a voice suddenly sounded from inside the door. Immediately after, a woman in white walked out respectfully under the accompaniment of the maids. As soon as the woman stepped out, she saw the people standing in front of her. Her expression immediately changed. Yin Luo Feng, why are you here? And you, Huang Yingying, you're still alive. Oya did not know Ji Jiutian, so she did not know how terrifying the red-robed man before her was. Huang Yingying's eyes reddened the moment she saw Oya. She glared at Oya with eyes filled with anger. If she had not known that she was no match for Oya, she would have rushed forward and torn this woman to shreds. Oya, you killed my parents and destroyed my entire family. I'm here today to take revenge on you. Revenge? Oya sneered. You want to take revenge on me? I'm the witch race's holy maiden. Who do you think you are? A lowly commoner dares to seek revenge on me? But the heavens are really helping me. You're still alive. At that moment, Oya did not seem to be ashamed that she had stolen her identity. She even spoke as if it was a matter of course. It was as if she really was the witch race's holy maiden. Chapter 1406. Huang Yingying clenched her fists tightly. Her eyes were filled with hatred as she glared at Oya's sneering face. Her fists were clenched tightly, and her entire body was trembling. Oya, I've not only come here to avenge my Huang family, but I've also come to retrieve my mother's belongings. Return the pearl hairpin in your hair to me. A trace of panic flashed across Oya's eyes, but she quickly calmed down. Her lips curled into a sarcastic smile. Huang Yingying, this hairpin was originally mine. You were the one who wanted to steal it from her and failed. Now, you dare to claim that this hairpin belongs to your mother? Oya's eyes flashed with a hint of panic. You? Huang Yingying's face turned red with anger, and the hatred in her eyes intensified. Men, arrest these bandits for this saintess. Oya waved her sleeves and ordered coldly. The two guards at the door looked at each other, but they did not listen to Oya's orders. Oya's expression immediately turned cold. Did you not hear what the saintess said? Take down these people immediately. This. The guard hesitated for a moment before replying. This man is Ji Jiutian, the dean of the Western Continent College. Ji Jiutian was the man who had caused a sensation in the entire Western Continent. He had single-handedly killed many powerful cultivators in the Western Continent, causing the Western Continent's strength to lag behind for many years. Who would dare to provoke such a terrifying existence? Western Continent? Oya sneered disapprovingly. I heard that the Western Continent is ranked the lowest among the 7 great continents. Do you think that the sorcerer tribe of the Central Continent would be afraid of a power in the Western Continent? Oya had already figured out the division of power in the 7 continents since she arrived. The Western Continent was undoubtedly at the bottom of the 7 continents. How could a bottom-ranked continent compare to the others? This was also the reason why she did not take Ji Jiutian seriously. Thirsty. The corners of Ji Jiutian's lips curled up, and his beautiful face was filled with a ghastly coldness. After that, he raised his hand, and before Oya could react, a surge of energy suddenly entered her body and instantly sent her flying with a loud bang. Oya's eyes widened in shock. She had never imagined that this man would attack her in the sorcerer tribe. I hate women's tongues the most. If it weren't for the fact that you are the witch race's holy maiden, I would have already taken your tongue. This man was extremely beautiful, but his voice carried a bone-chilling coldness. It was as if an aura from hell had enveloped Oya's heart in an instant. Who dares to act so impudently in my witch demon tribe? Suddenly, a cold voice seemed to pierce through time and space, reverberating in the void. After hearing this voice, Oya's eyes flashed with surprise, and she hurriedly said, "Clan leader, come and save me." As soon as he finished speaking, a middle-aged man dressed in a snow-white robe slowly descended from the sky. His hands were behind his back, and he looked like an immortal. His jet-black hair fluttered gently in the wind, and his cold eyes gradually fell on the few people outside the mountain gate. Oya crawled up from the ground. Although Ji Jiutian had not used much force in that attack, it had caused her internal organs to ache uncontrollably. It was as if there was a force rampaging through her body. Clan leader, that woman in white, is the Yun Luofeng I told you about. I did not think that she would have the guts to come here. Oya gritted her teeth. The one beside her is called Huang Yingying. Back then, her brother was my fiancé. However, Huang Yingying's hands and feet were not clean. She wanted to steal my pearl hairpin. After I found out, the Huang family still protected her. In a rage, I broke off the engagement. Chapter 14:07. You're lying. Huang Yingying shouted angrily. My mother gave me the hairpin. You stole it from me, and you dare to accuse me. She had never expected that Oya would not only steal her jewelry, but also shamelessly frame her. She was claiming that she was the one who had done something wrong. Back then, father and mother were really blind to find such a marriage for Big Brother. Oomph. The clan leader scoffed. Little girl, you're so young, yet you've done such a thing. You even dared to steal our holy lady's sacred object. This hairpin is the symbol of the holy lady of the Lich demon tribe. If you stole it, wouldn't you be pretending to be our holy lady? Oya proudly raised her chin and looked down at Huang Yingying. She was already the holy lady. As for Huang Yingying, she wouldn't be able to do anything. This hairpin was given to me by my mother. Huang Yingying bit her lips, and her eyes turned red. It's not a keepsake from the Lich demon tribe's holy maiden. It's the only memory I have of my mother. What a joke. The clan leader sneered. You said that this hairpin is yours. Then do you have a moon symbol on your chest? Oya had expected the clan leader to ask this question. She had even thought of an excuse. She would say that Huang Yingying had seen that her moon symbol was very beautiful and had asked someone to tattoo it on her. Of course, there was another way to verify the identity of the Holy Lady, the inheritance. However, The clan leader would not let her go to the inheritance before she could determine whether Huang Yingying was real or not. During this time, she had ways to exchange blood with Huang Yingying. You, how did you know? Huang Yingying was stunned. She looked at the clan leader in astonishment. I did have a symbol on my chest, but because I was attacked by a spiritual beast, its claws tore a piece of flesh off my chest and went straight to the bone. My wound has not healed yet, so the symbol cannot be seen. The clan leader was stunned. He never thought that Huang Yingying would have a moon symbol on her chest. While he was silent, Oya's mocking voice slowly rang out. Huang Yingying, you know that I'm the witch demon tribe saintess. You also know that the hairpin and the moon pattern are the symbols of a saintess. That's why you wanted to steal my hairpin and make up this lie to replace me. Unfortunately, you underestimate the witch demon race too much. The chief isn't so stupid as to be hoodwinked by you so easily. The members of the sorcerer tribe did not interact with the outside world. They were stubborn, so when the chief heard Oya's words, he was furious. The few of you are truly audacious. You even dare to deceive my shaman demon race. Why were you attacked in the chest by a spirit beast, and even caused the moon pattern to be destroyed? You think I'll believe your nonsense? Ridiculous. If Huang Yingying had appeared with the pearl hairpin at the beginning, even if her moon pattern had been destroyed, the clan leader would have believed her. However, people usually had preconceived notions. Oya had appeared first, which was why he did not believe Huang Yingying's words. Huang Yingying was speechless. She glared at Oya angrily and hatefully. If looks could kill, Oya would have been executed by 1,000 cuts long ago. Looks like the matters of the witch demon race are getting more and more interesting. Ji Jiotian's phoenix eyes flickered and his lips curled into a playful smile. He lowered his head and whispered in Yun Luofeng's ear, "Are you interested in watching a good show?" Chapter 1408. Huang Yingying was slow and did not know what was going on. However, Yun Luofeng and Ji Jiotian sensed something from their conversation. The hairpin that Oya stole was a token of the witch demon tribe. Did that mean the original holy maiden of the witch demon tribe was Huang Yingying? Why are you interested in these things? Yin Luofeng rolled his eyes at Ji Jiotian. Oh, Ji Jiotian stroked his chin and smiled. Because I feel that there is a better solution than fighting. Plus, I have a gentle personality. Fighting and killing are not suitable for me. I feel that we should reason with them. Speak human. Ji Jiotian's expression darkened. All right, I prefer to beat a dog when it's down. Yin Luofeng's lips curled. Before she could speak, the man's low and seductive voice rang out again. Plus, if we expose Oya's true identity and make Huang Yingying the holy maiden, the witch demon tribe will give you anything you want. Yin Luofeng sighed. I finally understand why Chen Yuqing asked me to help Huang Yingying. Chen Yuqing, Ji Jiotian's beautiful face darkened even more. Who is this guy? Xiao Feng, you really know how to provoke men. First, you have the Ghost Emperor. Now, you have Chen Yuqing. Since you've provoked 2 people, don't you mind provoking me as well? Yin Luofeng glanced at the beautiful man next to him. I'm not interested in lady boys. Lady boy? Ji Jiotian's face darkened even more. Was he that unmanly? Clan leader. Just as Ji Jiotian was thinking about how to deal with Yin Luofeng, Oya's angry voice rang out again. Originally, I asked you to help me find Yin Luofeng because her medical skills can cure my illness. Now, I have a better way to cure my hidden illness. This method is Huang Yingying. She raised her chin proudly. Give her to me. I will soon be able to accept the inheritance and develop the witch demon tribe. Unsurprisingly, Oya's words moved the clan leader. Hadn't he endured this woman for so long for the witch demon tribe? As long as the witch demon tribe's inheritance could continue, what couldn't he do? Ahem. The clan leader coughed dryly and turned to look at Huang Yingying. Miss you. Before he could finish speaking, a burst of light laughter suddenly resounded, and that laughter carried a hint of ridicule. Today, I've watched a good show. Next, will the lich demon tribe force an innocent girl into submission? The clan leader frowned and turned to look at the inhumanly beautiful man beside him. This is a matter of our lich race. I hope you don't meddle in other people's business. Clan leader. The two guards couldn't help but wipe the cold sweat off their foreheads when they heard their clan leader's words. They reminded him carefully, he is Ji Jiuqian. I don't care who he is, I can't stop him today. Suddenly, the patriarch came back to his senses and his eyes widened in shock. Wait, you said he's Ji Jiuqian? West Continent College's Ji Jiuqian? Shua. In that instant, his face turned pale, his lips trembled, and his eyes were filled with shock. Oya was dumbfounded. She couldn't understand why Ji Jiuqian's name would be so shocking that even the clan leader felt terrified. Was the Western Continent College that awesome? Chapter 1409. You're Ji Jiuqian, Principal Ji? The clan leader broke out in a cold sweat. He did not understand why this god of plague would appear here. That's right, the current West Continent was not worth mentioning. That was because all the top cultivators in the West Continent had died many years ago. The person who had killed those top cultivators was Ji Jiuqian. Therefore, this name was not only a nightmare for the people of the West Continent, it was also the same for people from other places. He had already been blacklisted by the mainland. Some people even claimed that anyone who heard the surname Ji or came into contact with Ji Jiuqian could not be touched. Of course, there was a reason why the people of the mainland felt so threatened. It was because a cultivator had accidentally stepped on the plants that Ji Jiuqian was taking care of and was torn apart by him. This bloody scene had never been forgotten by the people of the world. But didn't Ji Jiuqian go missing? Why would he appear here? So, it's Principal Ji, the clan leader smiled. I didn't know that you were here. That's why I was so rude. Please forgive me, Lord Principal. Ji Jiuqian narrowed his beautiful phoenix eyes. I'm very old. The clan leader was stunned. He felt the dangerous aura from Ji Jiuqian and hurriedly shook his head. No, Lord Principal, you're very young. You've never aged. Ji Jiuqian did not like people calling him a woman. What he disliked even more was people calling him old. He looked so young. What was so old about him? I came here for a stroll with my students. Who would have thought that we would meet a crazy woman who would bite anyone she saw? Ji Jiuqian's gaze swept across Oya's body. A dangerous aura was released once again, so I don't want to see this crazy woman while I'm here. The clan leader was stunned. What did Ji Jiuqian mean? He wanted to stay? Furthermore, he could stroll to the witch demon tribe? He didn't even need to draft a lie. Principal Ji, the clan leader laughed awkwardly. My witch demon tribe is too small. I'm afraid that you won't be able to live comfortably. It's fine. My students like to live in this kind of place. They can enjoy the scenery, and when they have nothing to do, they can abuse others. Ji Jiuqian turned to Yun Luofeng with a smile. Am I right, little Feng? Ji Jiuqian's words were very clear. I came to the witch demon tribe to cause trouble for you. Do as you see fit. Since that's the case, Principal Ji, please. The patriarch finally relented. It was not a wise choice to offend this god of plague here. Men, prepare 4 rooms. He slowly came back to his senses and coldly ordered. Yes, patriarch. Immediately, someone welcomed Ji Jiuqian, Yun Luofeng, and the others in. Their attitude was very respectful, afraid that they would accidentally offend this god of plague. Oya looked at their backs unwillingly. Chief, where did this man come from? Isn't he just a mere dean of the Western Continent? Do you need to be afraid of him? A mere dean? Hee. The clan leader laughed coldly. His lips curled into a mocking smile. Do you know that the Western Continent used to be the last among the continents, but its strength was not that different from the other continents? Later on, it suddenly fell behind for many years. The one who caused this was Ji Jiuqian. The clan leader took a deep breath. You will never know how terrifying this man is. I can say that on this continent, there are not many people who dare to provoke him. That's right, the witch demon tribe is very strong, but I don't dare to provoke him. Chapter 1410. Oya's eyes widened in shock. How could this gorgeous man possess such terrifying strength? Holy lady, I know you have a bad temper, but you can't provoke him. Absolutely not. If you want to play, let him play for a few days. You can decide after he leaves. Oya lowered her eyes. She did not answer the clan leader, because in her heart, she had a new goal, the shaman demon tribe. On the small path, Yin Luofeng turned his eyes slightly, and his gaze fell on a man's profile. From his side, he saw the man's slightly raised lips. It was devilishly charming and incomparably gorgeous. Ji Jiuqian, when did I become your student? I am the dean of the West Continent College. You are a student of the West Continent College, so I am not wrong. Yin Luofeng lowered his head and thought for a moment. Then, he nodded and said, Indeed, I can be considered your student. Xiaofeng, I will support you in the Sorcerer Demon tribe. You can play however you want. Ji Jiuqian turned to look at the young girl next to him. However, if you want to obtain what you want, you will have to rely on your own hard work. The Shaman Demon tribe feared him, but they might not hand over the tribe's treasure unless he could destroy the Shaman Demon tribe and take the treasure. But now, he clearly did not intend to do that. Seeing that Ji Jiuqian was about to take 2 steps closer to Yin Luofeng, little suddenly passed from behind and stood between the two of them. He looked at Yin Luofeng with a smile and said, Master, I'm hungry. Ji Jiuqian was well aware of Little Mo's actions, but he did not point out. There was a trace of playfulness in his phoenix eyes. Huang Yingying. Yin Luofeng stopped his tracks and turned to look at the silent girl. He asked, That pearl hairpin, was it left behind by your mother? Did she say anything else? Huang Yingying tilted her head and thought for a moment. Then, she shook her head and said, I only know that this pearl hairpin has been passed down from my mother's maiden family since ancient times. It is only passed down to daughters and not to wives. I don't know the specific reason either. My mother did not tell me anything. After saying this, Huang Yingying raised her head and fixed her gaze on Yin Luofeng. Miss Yin, can you help me retrieve the hairpin? It's a memento that my mother gave me. Yin Luofeng's lips curled up devilishly. Not only will I get the hairpin back for you, but I will also give you the position that belongs to you. A position that belonged to her? Huang Yingying blinked her eyes in confusion. What did that mean? But she was smart enough not to ask Yin Luofeng. She believed that no matter what Yin Luofeng did, he was helping her. Inside the luxurious boudoir, Oya sat quietly by the table, her eyebrows tightly knitted. No one knew what she was thinking. Her silence made the maidservants hold their breaths as they carefully waited upon her. Saintess. Suddenly, a maidservant walked in from outside the door and reported respectfully, This servant has found out the specific location of those guests. Good, very good. Bring me to see Ji Jiuqian now. Oya rose to her feet as her lips curled into a smile. However, before that, I need to make some preparations. At this moment, Ji Jiuqian was lying on an armchair with a fruit plate next to his hand. His slender fingers were gently picking up grapes, his movements elegant and alluring. Oya had just pushed the door open when she saw this tempting scene. Chapter 14:11. The man's beauty was out of this world. His eyes shone with a demonic light, and his unparalleled beauty seemed otherworldly. Instead, he looked like a demon who had cultivated to become a demon. Get out! From start to finish, the man did not even lift his head. His voice was cold and murderous, terrifying and frightening. Oya forced herself to calm down. As long as she could get close to this man, she did not mind giving up her status as the Holy Lady. Young Master Ji, I'm here to apologize for what happened today. Oya lowered her head and said apologetically, I did not know that Yin Luofeng and Huang Yingying were your friends. If I had known about their relationship with young Master Ji, I would not have bothered with them no matter how big of a mistake they made. In order to show off her mainland, Wuxia continued, so, for young Master Ji's sake, I have already forgiven them. Oh, hearing this, Ji Jiuqian raised his head with interest. Are you saying that Xiaofeng made a mistake? Hearing Ji Jiuqian's reply, Oyu was pleasantly surprised, but she did not show it on her face. Actually, it's not a big mistake. It's just that back in Endless City, there was a man who pursued me. That man's name was Nangong Uni. I did not know that Yin Luofeng liked Nangong. Because of that, I offended her. Oya lowered her head, her expression filled with sorrow. In order to take revenge on me, she killed over 500 people in my family. Because of that, I hate her to the bone. Hatred flashed in Oya's eyes. This hatred was not fake. However, she did not hate Yin Luofeng for destroying the O family. Instead, it was because of Yin Luofeng that she was in such a sorry state. If she had not become the holy lady of the Lich Demon tribe by chance, she would have died a long time ago. Jiutian smiled. Are you saying that Xiao Fenger has taken a fancy to Nangang Uni? From what I know, Xiao Fenger already has a fiancé, the Ghost Emperor. It's precisely because of this that I feel disdain towards Yin Luofeng. Oh, well, you said hatefully. This Yin Luofeng already has a fiancé, but she still goes around fooling around. She's completely unscrupulous. Even a few old men in the medical tower are involved with her. This matter is known by everyone in Endless City. Dean Ji, you're not someone from the Limitless Continent, so you don't know what Yin Luofeng has done over there. Ji Jiutian did not answer Oya's question. Do you know, on the Wuhui continent, there's a clan called Ji Clan? Ji family? Oya was stunned. She had indeed heard of the Ji family. Ji Jiutian asked her what she meant. Wait a minute, Ji family? Ji Jiutian's surname was also Ji. Could it be that he was from a Ji clan? You are the Ji family's patriarch. Oya's face was pale, and she was on the verge of collapsing. There shouldn't be such a coincidence. How could the principal of the West Continent Academy be the Ji family patriarch? No, Ji Jiutian's red lips parted slightly as she spat out these two words. Hearing this, Oya heaved a sigh of relief. She mocked herself in her heart. How could I have connected Ji Jiutian with the Ji family? However, Ji Jiutian's following words were like throwing her into the 18th level of hell, causing her body to turn incomparably cold. The Ji family's family head is merely my subordinate. Bang! Oya staggered a few times. Her hand held onto the door sill as she calmed the panic in her heart. What? What did you say? Ji Jiutian glanced at her evilly. Furthermore, after Xiao Fenger went to the Endless City, I sent people to investigate her. Do you think that her actions can be hidden from me? Oya's lips lightly trembled. She was so panicked that she could not say a single word. Chapter 14:12. Now, can you get lost? Ji Jiutian's words were merciless. He felt that if Oya looked at him, his stomach would churn. Oya didn't dare to say anything else. She turned around and left hurriedly. The moment she turned around, tears of grievance flowed down her face. Holy lady. When she stepped out of the door, a servant came up to her respectfully. The clan leader wants you to see him. Clan leader? Oya thought for a moment and nodded. I understand. You can leave. Yes, holy lady. Hearing this, the maid retreated. Oya didn't hesitate and walked towards the clan leader's cultivation room. At this moment, a middle-aged man's back was facing the door. When he heard the door open, he turned to look at the woman. Did you go to find Ji Jiutian? Oya nodded. That's right. I had to go to find him. Hearing this, the clan leader's expression changed. His voice became stern. You're going to drag the entire Witch Demon tribe down. Who do you think Ji Jiutian is? How dare you provoke him? Ever since Oya came to the Witch Demon tribe, she had never heard the clan leader speak to her in such a tone. Instantly, her expression darkened. I don't think Ji Jiutian is as scary as you say. He's not a bloodthirsty person, even though Ji Jiutian's oppression made it hard for her to breathe. However, didn't this man let her leave safely in the end? Ji Jiutian didn't hurt you? The clan leader looked at Oya strangely. Impossible. Ji Jiutian is cruel. If you say something wrong, he will immediately kill you. Oya was stunned. Ji Jiutian was that cruel? Then why did he say that Yin Luofeng was a student? Why did he let her go after she humiliated Yin Luofeng? Could it be Yin Luofeng wasn't that important to him? Did he not hate her? Otherwise, why would he let her go? Oh, right. The clan leader seemed to remember something and asked, can that woman called Huang Yingying really help you recover? Oya frowned slightly. How could I lie to you? Clan leader, as long as you hand Huang Yingying over to me, I will be able to receive the inheritance in less than 3 days. However, this Huang Yingying seems to be someone that Ji Jiutian brought over. If we rashly attack her, Ji Jiutian will probably be angry. Clan leader. Oya smiled. I only want Huang Yingying to help me. I don't want to hurt her. I won't anger Ji Jiutian. Besides, if Huang Yingying is unwilling, I won't force her. All right, the clan leader nodded. I'll send someone to look for Huang Yingying later and bring her to your room. But you must remember, you can't touch her or force her. Patriarch, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Oya slightly lowered her eyebrows and curled her lips into a smile. As long as Huang Yingying fell into her hands, she would not have a good life. Moreover, she could do it without leaving any traces. No one would find out what she had done to Huang Yingying. In the guest room, Huang Yingying was just about to go to bed to rest when two maids suddenly pushed the door open and said, "Miss Huang, our saintess has feelings for you." "Oh yeah?" Huang Yingying's expression turned furious once again. "Why is that woman looking for me? I won't go." "Miss Huang, our saintess has said that this is a personal grudge between you. She hopes that you can resolve it privately. Otherwise, the friend you brought over will be in danger." Chapter 14:13. Huang Yingying's face paled. She calmed herself down and sneered. "I don't believe you. The sorcerer tribe doesn't have the guts to hurt Miss Yun. Miss Yun was protected by Ji Jiuqian. How could she have fallen into the hands of the sorcerer tribe?" The servant girl lowered her eyes and continued. "Do you remember the youth you brought up the mountain? Unfortunately, this young man is already in the hands of our holy maiden. You must make a trip there." "Youth? Xiaomo?" Huang Yingying recalled the youth's face and paled. "He is Miss Yun's follower. Aren't you afraid of Miss Yun's anger? Also, why should I believe you? I want to find Miss Yun. Our holy lady has no need to lie. If you don't come with us, the youth will die." Huang Yingying trembled. She wanted to find Yin Luofeng, but the two servant girls were stronger than her. She couldn't break through their encirclement. She gritted her teeth. "I'll go with you, but you can't implicate innocent people." The two servant girls' expressions were cold, and they didn't speak. They surrounded Huang Yingying from both sides, afraid that she would break through and find Yin Luofeng. They didn't think that Yin Luofeng would hear that Huang Yingying was taken away by the two servant girls. "Master, that woman called Huang Yingying left with the lich. Should we go and stop them?" Milk Tea told him everything she had heard and asked. "Master, that woman called Huang Yingying left with the lich." Yin Luofeng glanced at Xiao Mo, who was enjoying his food, then back at Milk Tea. "Using Xiao Mo to threaten Huang Yingying? I didn't think that Oyu would use such despicable methods." "Master, then we, Milk Tea, follow Huang Yingying. I'll catch up later." Yin Luofeng narrowed his eyes. "Also, I'm curious. Why is Oya looking for her now?" Bang! Huang Yingying had just been brought to the door by the two servant girls when she was pushed back. She staggered and almost fell to the ground. Huang Yingying, Oya, who had her back to her, slowly turned around when she heard the voice. Her beautiful face lit up with a smile. "Long time no see. Should I thank you for coming?" Huang Yingying bit her lip. "Xiao Mo is innocent. Where did you take him? Let him go." "Innocent?" Oya smiled coldly. "Don't forget, it was Yin Luofeng who destroyed everything I had. The people around him naturally deserve to die. Besides, I didn't capture him in the first place, so how could I let him go?" Huang Yingying's face paled, and the anger in her eyes intensified. "You lied to me. Huang Yingying, you're really stupid. People like you just need a few words from others." Oya smiled coldly. "Back then, weren't you the one who chased after me and called me sister-in-law?" Huang Yingying was so angry that she wanted to kill someone. "Oya, why did you use innocent people to bring me here? It's very simple. I want you to cooperate with me to do something." Oya raised her eyebrows slightly and said condescendingly, "Bah!" Huang Yingying spat. "Don't even think about it. Huang Yingying, your nature is very kind. You definitely won't be willing to drag others down because of yourself." Oya was not angry. She smiled as she walked towards Huang Yingying. "If you don't want to drag Yin Luofeng down, then listen to me." Chapter 14:14. Huang Yingying looked at Oya, who was walking towards her, and involuntarily took a few steps back. Her eyes were filled with anger. "Lady Yun has young Master Ji by her side. You can't hurt her." "Poochie." Oya seemed to have heard a funny joke and could not help but laugh out loud. Her eyes were filled with mockery. "Huang Yingying, the reason why our clan leader didn't touch Ji Jiuqian is indeed because he is strong. However, No matter how strong he is only one person. Do you really think that the sorcerer demon tribe is afraid of him? Besides, the one patriarch wants to touch isn't Ji Jiutian, but Yun Luofeng. Hearing Oya's words, Huang Yingying's face turned even paler. She regretted dragging Yun Luofeng into this. Compared to the cunning Oya, Huang Yingying was innocent. It was because of her innocence and kindness that she was deceived by lies. What do you want me to do? Huang Yingying lowered her eyes and asked through gritted teeth. There is something wrong with my body. I need your blood to cure me. As long as you are willing to exchange your blood with me, I will let Yun Luofeng and the others leave safely. Oya approached Huang Yingying again. She raised her chin high and said arrogantly, Huang Yingying, even if I don't need Yun Luofeng to threaten me with my status as the Witch Demon Tribe's holy maiden, it's your honor that you can help me. She then scrutinized Huang Yingying, who was still hesitating, and continued, If you help me this time, I'll write off the grudge between you and the Huang family for trying to kill me. How about it? You are shameless. Huang Yingying's eyes turned bloodshot. You annihilated my entire Huang family, and you expect me to beg for your forgiveness? You asked for the death of the Huang family. Oya's lips curled into a cold smile. If you hadn't stopped me from leaving, I wouldn't have accidentally stabbed you. The Huang family wouldn't have chased after me, and I wouldn't have annihilated the entire Huang family. Until now, Oya still pushed the blame to Huang Yingying. She had only stolen a hairpin. Was there a need for Huang Yingying to be so angry? They even wanted to hand him over to the disciplinary hall for punishment? Since she was heartless, then don't blame me for being heartless. Oya looked at Huang Yingying, who was trembling in anger, and said coldly, I'll give you half a minute to think about it. Think about it carefully. Are you really going to drag Yun Luofeng down because of you? You have always been kind-hearted. If you drag them down because of you, how can you bear to live your entire life? Huang Yingying fell silent. She had come to seek revenge on Oya with the conviction that she would die. Her only mistake was that she shouldn't have trusted Nangong Yuni and Chun Yuqing, believing that Yun Luofeng could help her. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been dragged into the water. The sorcerer demon race was too powerful. No matter how talented Yun Luofeng was, he would not be a match for the sorcerer demon race. Huang Yingying bit her lip and raised her head to look at Oya. She clenched her fists tightly and said, I have one more request. Return the hairpin to me. All right. Oya sneered. Return it to her? Dream on. I got this hairpin with my own ability, so why should I return it to her? Huang Yingying lowered her eyes and didn't say another word. If this matter didn't involve Yun Luofeng, she believed that with her talent, she would one day be able to avenge her. Huang Yingying, let's begin now. Oya took a deep breath. After she ordered the servant girl to wait at the door, she took out a few silver needles from her bag and pierced them into her and Huang Yingying's fingers. Chapter 14:15. Pain. Huang Yingying could feel the piercing pain in her bones and the feeling of her blood flowing backward. She could not help but panic. Are you regretting it? Oya sensed Huang Yingying's sudden change in emotions and sneered. Unfortunately, you no longer have a chance. Soon, our blood exchange will be successful. When that time comes, I will be the rightful holy maiden. Ha ha. Rightful holy maiden? What did that mean? Huang Yingying's eyes flashed with confusion. She was about to speak when she realized that blood was flowing from her fingertips. The panic in her eyes deepened. Bang! Suddenly, the door was kicked open by a foot. A person dressed in white flashed in and pulled Huang Yingying up from the ground. He then raised his leg and kicked Oya in the chest forcefully. Uffed. Oya spat out a mouthful of blood. Her body slammed against the wall, and her face turned ashen from the pain. Are you okay? Yun Luofeng lowered her head and glanced at Huang Yingying. She saw the silver needles on the girl's fingers and frowned. She shot a cold glare at Oya, who was lying on the ground. You want to exchange blood with her? The girl's voice was cold and harsh, like a dagger stabbing into her heart. Just now, Milk Tea had informed her that Huang Yingying had been taken away by Oya. She had asked Milk Tea to follow them before coming here herself. She had wanted to know why Oya had taken Huang Yingying away, but she had not expected that she would want to exchange blood with her. What was Oya's motive for doing this? Huang Yingying hurriedly grabbed Yin Luofeng's sleeve and shook her head. Anxiety flashed across her pale face. "Don't worry." Yin Luofeng sensed the girl's worry and said calmly, "I won't let her hurt you. I won't let her hurt you." Huang Yingying was stunned. She raised her head in a daze and looked at the girl's beautiful side profile. Warmth flowed from the bottom of her heart. Ever since her family had passed away, no one had said such words to her. She did not want to implicate Yin Luofeng with just this sentence. So, she persisted and stood up. She pulled Yin Luofeng's hand tightly and looked up at Oya. "Miss Yin, I'm doing this voluntarily. You don't have to worry about me." "Oya, do you really think that I would willingly exchange blood with you? You probably don't know, but I've already secretly smeared poison on my wounds. Once my blood enters your body, I'll definitely die with you. This is the price you have to pay for destroying my Huang family." Ahem. Oya coughed lightly and stood up with a smile. A fierce light flashed in her eyes. "Yin Luofeng, did you hear that? She did all of this voluntarily. I didn't force her." "Little Mo," Yin Luofeng shouted coldly, "watch her for me." "Yes." Hearing this, little Mo quickly stepped forward and pressed Huang Yingying's shoulder to stop her from moving forward. "What are you doing? Let me go. Shut up." Little Mo glared at Huang Yingying and said angrily, "You stupid woman, it's enough for you to stay in your room. Why did you come out and cause trouble? My master already had his own plans, but you ruined them all." Huang Yingying felt wronged and tears welled up in her eyes. Wasn't she afraid of dragging them down? "Stay here and don't move. My master will take care of the rest." After saying this, little Mo softened his tone, but could not help but raise his hand and slap Huang Yingying's head. "Also, grow some brains in the future. How can a fool like Oya catch me? I can kill her with one slap." Chapter 14:16. Huang Yingying did not dare to move. Her eyes were filled with tears as she looked at little Mo pitifully. Why was this guy so fierce? Although she knew that little Mo did not want her to die, she was still afraid of him. Little Mo's deliberate act of fierceness was undoubtedly more useful than trying to reason with her. At least she stopped obediently and was no longer as stubborn as before. "Oya." Yin Luofeng's gaze stopped on Oya, and he slowly approached her. "The medical tower has been looking for you for so long, and I've finally found you." Oya's expression changed, and she took a few steps back. "Don't come any closer. I am no longer the eldest daughter of the O family. I am the sacred lady of the sorcerer tribe. You better be polite to me in the sorcerer tribe's territory." Bang! As if he did not hear Oya's words, Yin Luofeng lifted his leg and kicked her in the chest, sending her flying. "This kick is for Nangong. You can choose not to accept Nangong. You can dislike him. You can even ignore him, but you have no right to humiliate my brother." He kicked her again. This time, Oya spat out a mouthful of blood, and her face turned pale. "This kick is for Xiaobai. When Xiaobai was injured, the O family also had a part in it." Oya tried to stand up, but Yin Luofeng did not give her the chance. He lifted his leg and kicked Oya's body to the ground again. Then, he stepped hard on her chest. "This kick is for you on behalf of the entire Huang clan. Even though I have nothing to do with the Huang family, their death is inextricably linked to me trying to kill you. I have to avenge them." As for this last kick, Yin Luofeng lifted his leg again and kicked it down forcefully. "This is for Huang Yingying." Oya's mouth continued to bleed, and her eyes became unfocused. She regretted impulsively looking for Huang Yingying. Who knew that Yin Luofeng would follow her so quickly? "Stop!" Suddenly, an angry roar came from the door. The clan leader looked at Oya, who was lying in a pool of blood, and his eyes gradually turned bloodshot. He shouted angrily, "I was kind enough to let you stay, but you actually dared to attack my holy lady. This time, no matter who comes, I will kill you." The holy maiden was the hope of the witch race. He would not allow anyone to harm the holy maiden. Even if he had to risk everything, he had to ensure her safety. Boom! A powerful aura gushed out and instantly enveloped the entire room. A sudden gust of wind blew, and the tables and chairs in the room were destroyed in an instant, like a pile of ruins on the ground. No! Huang Yingying's expression suddenly changed and turned deathly pale. She was not as powerful as Yin Luofeng and Xiao Mo, so she could not resist this gale. Therefore, under this gale that was as sharp as a blade, her clothes were shredded into countless pieces. Huang Yingying was so frightened that she hurriedly covered her chest. Her expression was one of anger and shame. At the same time, the clan leader's fierce and swift attack rang out against her and Yin Luofeng. However, the moment the clan leader saw Huang Yingying, he was stunned. No matter how fast she had blocked the attack, he still saw the moon tattoo on her chest. His face turned from shock to deathly white. TCH, the dignified which race leader likes to bully the younger generation? An evil laugh seemed to pierce through the sky and fell into the room. In an instant, the clan leader's attack was neutralized and the entire room returned to peace. Chapter 14:17. At the door stood a man in a gorgeous red robe. His almond-shaped eyes were filled with a teasing smile as he slowly stepped through the doorway. In the past, the clan leader would have explained the reason for Jiutian's arrival to him. Now, his gaze was fixed on Huang Yingying's chest, and his eyes were filled with astonishment. Why? Why is this happening? The clan leader's lips trembled. Why is there a pattern on your chest? Huang Yingying was dumbfounded. She turned towards Yin Luofeng. Miss Yin, shouldn't my injury take half a month to recover? It's only been 10 days. Why is this happening? The moon on your chest has healing properties. Little Mo glanced at Huang Yingying and said, however, you did not activate this power previously, so your injury has not healed for a long time. If I'm not wrong, Oya wanted to forcefully exchange blood with you. This triggered your power and allowed your injury to heal. When Huang Yingying had revealed the moon pattern, Oya had nearly fainted from shock. She never thought that something like this would happen. At that moment, the clan leader raised his hand and tried to touch the moon. Ah! Huang Yingying screamed in shock and quickly hid behind Yin Luofeng. She cried out angrily, "You old pervert! What are you doing?" Indeed, the moon pattern was a woman's private area, but the clan leader wanted to touch it. It would be strange if he did not become a pervert. Little Mo, Yin Luofeng glanced at Little Mo and called out to him. Little Mo immediately understood Yin Luofeng's meaning and slowly walked towards Oya. Stop! Oya's expression changed, and she shuffled backwards. Little Mo had been with Yin Luofeng for a long time and was not someone who had tender and protective feelings towards women. When he saw that Oya had dared to dodge, his handsome face darkened. If you move again, I'll make you wish you were dead. Oya did not dare to move and looked pleadingly at the clan leader. However, the clan leader's attention was completely focused on Huang Yingying. Little Mo easily removed Oya's clothes and handed them to Huang Yingying. Hurry up and put them on before some old pervert tries to take advantage of you. Hearing this, Huang Yingying blushed and glared at the chief angrily. Which one of you is the real one? The clan leader's voice trembled even more as his gaze swept across Huang Yingying and Oya. Patriarch, Oya gritted her teeth and said, I am the Lich race's holy maiden. This woman is a fake. Back then, she saw that my moon tattoo was very beautiful, so she specially got someone to embroider it. You can't trust this woman. Yun Luofeng's cold gaze swept over Oya. Who is real and who is fake is already obvious. If you are real, why did you exchange blood with Huang Yingying? Blood exchange? The clan leader looked at Oya suspiciously. Why would you exchange blood with someone else? Patriarch, don't listen to this woman's nonsense, my mouth is dry. Ji Jiutian frowned and waved his hand. Before Oya could finish her sentence, her body was thrown out. His almond-shaped eyes turned to the tribe leader. I'm afraid the shaman demons have their own ways of distinguishing the real from the fake. The patriarch was taken aback. There was indeed a way, but at the thought of this, the clan leader steeled his heart and said, Oya, since you claim to be the real one, you should accept the inheritance with me now. Patriarch. Oya's expression completely changed. I've already said that I have a hidden illness and cannot accept the inheritance. Chapter 14:18. Your body has yet to recover, so it will indeed affect the inheritance. However, in order to prove whether you are real or fake, this is the only way. The clan leader paused and continued. Men, bring the saintess to receive the inheritance. The inheritance only recognized the Holy Lady's bloodline. If anyone tried to force their way in, they would definitely be killed. No! Seeing that the two shamans were about to forcefully drag her off the ground, she finally panicked and screamed shrilly. I don't want to receive the inheritance. I don't want to receive the inheritance. The clan leader, who had only been suspicious of Oya, immediately turned cold when she heard this. Oya, you really have guts. You even dared to deceive my Lich tribe. Men, capture this impersonator of the Holy Maiden and deal with her later. Oya's body went limp, and she collapsed on top of the two shaman guards. Her eyes were filled with despair. It's over. This time, she was completely finished. Yin Luofeng. It was all Yin Luofeng's fault. If not for her, she would have been the shaman tribe's holy lady forever. Huang Yingying would have been killed by her outside the mountain gate, and none of this would have happened. So all of this was Yin Luofeng's fault. Yin Luofeng, Oya, swear that I won't let you off even as a ghost. Huh? Ghost. Yin Luofeng smiled faintly. Sorry, you won't have the chance to become a ghost. At that moment, Huang Yingying's body staggered a few times, and she fell to the ground. Yin Luofeng quickly caught her and hurriedly checked Huang Yingying's wound. After she checked the situation, her face darkened. Holy Lady. The clan leader quickly walked to Huang Yingying, her eyes full of worry. What happened to the Holy Lady? She poisoned herself and planned to die together with Oya. So this was her motive for exchanging blood with Oya. She wouldn't let Oya live, even if she died. Poison? The clan leader's legs went limp. Can she be saved? Yin Luofeng nodded lightly. She took out a purple herb from her spatial ring, squeezed out the juice from its leaves, and smeared it on Huang Yingying's wound. She's fine. She'll recover after resting for a while, but Yin Luofeng looked up at the clan leader. The Huang family was exterminated by the shaman demon race. In other words, Huang Yingying might not acknowledge her identity as the Holy Maiden. The patriarch understood what he meant. He hung his head in frustration. One wrong step leads to a series of wrong steps. If it weren't for my stupidity, Oya wouldn't have been able to take advantage of me. It's only right that the saintess is angry, but I will do my best to move her. Little Mo, let's go. Yin Luofeng handed Huang Yingying over to the shamans and left with Little Mo. She had been plotting how to expose Oya. He didn't expect it to be this easy. Oya reaped what she sowed. If she did not want to exchange blood with her, she would not have stimulated Huang Yingying's hidden power, let alone allowed her to recover from her injuries and give herself away. As the saying goes, if you don't court death, you won't die. Little Mo, did you already know that Huang Yingying was the holy maiden of the shaman demon race? I didn't know. Little Mo shook her head. I only knew that Huang Yingying's moon pattern could heal her injuries. Their voices gradually faded into the distance and disappeared. The night was like water. The clan leader stayed by Huang Yingying's bed and never left. Chapter 14:19. Slowly, the woman on the bed opened her eyes. When she saw the middle-aged man standing guard in front of the bed, her face paled in shock. Damn pervert, what are you doing? Get lost. Holy Maiden. The clan leader stepped forward with a grin. I was worried about your injuries, so I'm not your Holy Maiden. Huang Yingying bit her lip. You've got the wrong person. Since Oya is fake, then you must be the real Holy Maiden. Don't worry, I've already locked up the two servant girls who destroyed the Huang family. You can deal with them at any time. When she heard this, Huang Yingying's body stiffened. She lowered her head and thought for a moment. Then, she said, I want to see them. All right. Seeing that Huang Yingying's emotions had eased, the clan leader was overjoyed. He said, Guards, bring the Holy Maiden to the dungeon. The dungeon was dark, damp, and lifeless. Oya and the two servant girls were locked up in the dungeon. Their hair was disheveled, and their faces were full of despair. Creak! The dungeon door was pushed open. A ray of sunlight shone in from the outside. causing the people in the dungeon to look up. "It's you." When Oya saw Huang Yingying walk in, her expression changed drastically. "Huang Yingying, I should have killed you before I left." At first, she had been glad that Huang Yingying had not died. That would have given her the chance to receive the inheritance. But she had been too stupid. She had only thought that the clan leader would not let Huang Yingying enter the inheritance so easily. She had never expected that the clan leader would use her as a test. She had not expected that Ji Jiutian would be by Yin Luofeng's side. If not for Ji Jiutian's existence, Yin Luofeng would have died outside the mountain, and Huang Yingying would have fallen into her hands. "Oh yeah, you stole my hairpin and destroyed my entire family. Now, it's time for you to receive your retribution." Huang Yingying looked at Oya hatefully. "But don't worry, I won't let you die too quickly. I'll torture you to death." Other than that, nothing else could dispel the hatred in her heart. After saying that, Huang Yingying turned to the two servant girls and clenched her fists tightly. "Do the two of you still remember what you said when you attacked my Huang family? At that time, my brother hid me and ordered me not to make a sound, but I still saw the scene of my family lying in a pool of blood. Weren't you guys very arrogant? Didn't you say that crushing my Huang family was as easy as crushing an ant? Come on, if you have the ability, come and pinch me to death right now." Huang Yingying's voice trembled as she vented her boundless hatred at this moment. "You also said that the people of the Wuhui continent are all ants. Even if you are just maids, you are more respected than any of us." Huang Yingying clenched her fists tighter and tighter, her entire body trembling. "Actually, I understand. You've been too aggrieved all these years. You've been ordered around by others, so you vented all your frustrations on us. Do you think that with your strength, what right do you have to be ordered around by others? The people of Wuhui continent are not as strong as you, but they can live so freely." The two maids curled up into a ball and shivered. Their hearts were filled with regret and hatred. If they had left a trace of affection and not killed them all, perhaps they wouldn't have suffered such a fate. "Ha ha." Huang Yingying laughed as a stream of tears rolled down from the corner of her eyes. "It's a good thing that I can finally avenge my family. Guards, turn these people into human sticks and soak them in salt water. Let them die from the pain." Chapter 14:20. Oya's eyes widened in fear. She hurriedly grabbed onto the bars of the cell and said in a trembling voice, "Yingying, you can't be so cruel. You've always been kind and pure. How would you do such a thing? You're not like you at all." Hearing this, Huang Yingying smiled mockingly. "Do you want me to let you go? Dream on. No matter how cruel I am, you forced me to do this." Once she had finished speaking, she did not look back at Oya, who was screaming behind her, and quickly walked out of the dungeon. At this moment, her tears fell uncontrollably. She looked up at the sky. "Father, brother, I've finally avenged you, but my heart still hurts. So what if I've avenged you? You'll never be able to return." Suddenly, an oppressive aura came from behind her, causing Huang Yingying's body to stiffen. She turned around and looked at the peerlessly beautiful man in red robes, her eyes filled with respect. "Young Master Ji, what's the matter? I hope that you can become the Witch Demon Tribe's holy lady." Ji Jiutian's voice was very cold, completely different from the way he spoke to Yin Luofeng. "But if you want to help Xiaofeng, you can only become the Witch Demon Tribe's holy lady." This man had always been cruel and heartless. He did not care about Huang Yingying. He had made her the holy lady because she could help Yin Luofeng. Huang Yingying nodded gently. "All right, I'll be the holy lady." This was the only way she could repay her kindness. Her mother had once taught her that a drop of kindness must be repaid with a gushing spring. If it wasn't for Yin Luofeng, she would not have been able to avenge herself. Furthermore, the people who destroyed the Huang family had already been punished. She could only let go of her hatred and become the holy lady. After Huang Yingying spoke, Ji Jiutian's figure suddenly disappeared, leaving only a gust of wind to prove that he had been here. Young Master Ji treats Miss Yin quite well. Huang Yingying pursed her lips and smiled. Unfortunately, Miss Yin already has a fiancé. Her fiancé is the Ghost Emperor that everyone on the mainland knows. The next day, dawn. The clan leader was just discussing matters with the witch demon tribe's elder when a snow-white dress suddenly entered the room. The clan leader could not help but stand up. "Miss Yin, you're here?" Yin Luofeng nodded slightly. "I came here to tell you my goal in entering the witch demon tribe. Actually, I came to the sorcerer demon tribe for the sorcerer demon flower and sorcerer demon bone." The clan leader was taken aback. "I can give you the sorcerer's enchantment flower, but the sorcerer's bone," at the mention of the lich's bone, the clan leader paused for a moment before continuing. "All right, since you've helped the saintess, I can give you both of these items." Patriarch. The sorcerer's enchantment flower was the sorcerer demon tribe's clan protecting treasure, but it was not impossible to give it away. However, the sorcerer's enchantment bone was too important. After all, the sorcerer's enchantment bone was the remains of their ancestor. It was extremely important. You don't need to say anything more. Our witch demon tribe has the holy maiden, and we will soon regain our strength. Although the remains are the spiritual symbol of the witch demon tribe, they are not very useful. Our ancestor is already reincarnated. How about I give it to her as a gift? Yun Luofeng's lips curved into a smile. Then many thanks. She had thought that there would definitely be a battle with the witch demon tribe. She never thought that she would get what she wanted so easily. "Miss Yin, I have another request." The clan leader was stunned. "You have a good relationship with Dean Ji. If the witch demon tribe is in danger before the holy maiden grows up, I hope that Miss Yin can ask him for help." Chapter 14:21. All right, I agree. Yin Luofeng agreed readily. She would ask Ji Jiutian for help for the shaman demon tribe. As for whether Ji Jiutian agreed, that was not a problem. Also, the tribe leader paused for a moment before continuing. "The shaman demon bone is hidden in a rather secluded place. Only Miss Yin can retrieve it." Yin Luofeng raised her eyebrows and looked at the tribe leader with a faint smile. The tribe leader's expression was slightly awkward. "That place was set up by our ancestors. It's too dangerous and we can't enter." In reality, it wasn't that they couldn't enter, it was that they didn't dare. "Take me there." Yin Luofeng didn't expose him and smiled. "All right," the tribe leader smiled. "Miss Yin, please." Yin Luofeng turned and walked towards the door. Just as she stepped through the door, she was blocked by a gorgeous figure in red. The man's smile was extremely beautiful. "Xiao Feng, are you going to leave me behind? Since I promised the Ghost Emperor, I will definitely send you safely out of the shaman demon tribe." Yin Luofeng looked up at the man's evil face and laughed. Jiutian, I owe you again. Don't misunderstand. I'm just bored. It's much more interesting to be by your side. It's not just to protect you." The man's phoenix eyes shone with an evil light, but his expression was disapproving. How could Yin Luofeng not understand that this guy was afraid that she would feel too burdened? That's why he said those words on purpose. "Although I can't repay you with my body, I will return the favor I owe you in the future." Ji Jiutian lowered his head and looked at the girl's bright eyes. He suddenly laughed. "It's getting late. Let's go." Yin Luofeng nodded and turned to the tribe leader. "Tribe leader, I need to trouble you with something. If I don't return for a long time, send the sorcerer's enchantment flower to a girl called Hong Wan in Withered Dragon Town. She's waiting for the sorcerer's enchantment flower to heal her injuries. Don't worry. If you don't return in 3 days, I'll send someone to deliver it to her." "Thank you." Yin Luofeng slowly turned around and looked at the blue sky not far away. He muttered to himself, "Yin Xiao, wait for me. Wait for me to obtain the lich bone. Then I will return to see you." At that moment, Yin Luofeng had not expected that she would be gone for such a long time. By the time she left that place, several years had already passed. The lich bone was hidden in an illusion. After the patriarch sent Yin Luofeng and Ji Jiutian into the illusion, he was just about to turn around when a huge explosion came from outside the mountain gate, causing the entire mountain to shake a few times. What happened? The patriarch was shocked. As soon as he finished speaking, several figures floated in the air, scrutinizing the clan leader who was standing below. "Tribe chief, I have come here for your sorcerer demon tribe's sorcerer demon bone. If you do not wish for your sorcerer demon tribe to be trampled to the ground, you better hand over the sorcerer demon bone." "Lich bone? Did these people come for the lich bone? The lich bone was a remnant left behind by their ancestors. Why did so many people want it? The patriarch's eyes flickered. The lich bone of our sorcerer demon tribe is long gone. Please leave. Huh? In the air, the gray-robed elder laughed. His voice was sinister. Do you think I will believe your words? If you don't want the lich bone to be trampled to the ground, immediately open the illusion and let us in to find the lich bone. Chapter 14:22. Illusion Realm? The tribe leader was shocked. How did these people know that the shaman demon tribe had an illusion realm? However, when he thought of Yin Luofeng and Ji Jiuqian, who had entered the illusion realm, the tribe leader gritted his teeth. I won't let you in. As soon as he finished speaking, his figure flashed, and he attacked the elder in the sky. The old man's lips curled into a mocking smile as he looked at the tribe leader in disdain. Boom! Just as the tribe leader's fist was about to reach the old man, he suddenly felt powerless and fell from the sky, creating a deep crater in the ground. Tribe leader! The shaman demon's expressions changed drastically as they rushed to the tribe leader's side. Cough, cough. The tribe leader coughed dryly and coughed out a mouthful of blood. He gritted his teeth and said, How could this be? Why did the poison in my body backfire? The shaman demon tribe specialized in poison, and every poison required a poison to be planted in the body of the person who used it. This poison was known as the main poison. Tribe leader, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to harm you. You're too old-fashioned. Right at this moment, an old man walked out from the crowd of sorcerer demons. He walked toward the opposite side of the sorcerer demons. Did you do something to my main poison? The tribe leader's eyes were ruthless as he shouted angrily. The other shaman demon tribe members also glared at the old man angrily, as if they wanted to cut him into pieces. Tribe leader, you forced me to do this. If I hadn't worked so hard for the shaman demon tribe for so many years, you wouldn't have promoted me to an elder, and I wouldn't have betrayed you. The old man sneered and turned to the people in the sky. Lords, I know how to open the illusion realm. Also, a young lady has already entered. There's a man beside her. His name is Ji Jiuqian. Ji Jiuqian? The gray-robed old man was expressionless and his tone was eerie. West Continent Academy's Ji Jiuqian? He's indeed powerful, but unfortunately, I have a way to deal with him. Open the illusion realm for us now. I must obtain the shaman demon bone. Stop! The tribe leader shouted angrily. He clutched his chest and gritted his teeth. If you dare to let them in, I won't let you off. I've already pledged my allegiance to the Poison Valley. So what if you don't let me go? The old man laughed mockingly. Clan leader, I still have feelings for you. That's why I didn't give you a poison that would kill you immediately. Instead, I'll let you slowly exhaust your life force until you die. This process can take up to 3 years, or even 5 years. During this period, you won't be able to use your strength, and it will be extremely painful. If it was anyone else, they might not have been able to plot against the Witch Demon Valley Patriarch, but the Patriarch trusted the people of the Witch Demon Valley too much. As for why Yin Luofeng did not notice that the clan leader was poisoned, this was because the poison was not in the clan leader's body, but in the main goo. Unless she already knew about this old man's conspiracy and specially checked the clan leader's body, only then would she be able to find out. If one did not look for it specifically, it would be very difficult to find it. The traitor old man stepped forward and used the same method to open the illusion once again. Immediately, a ray of light enveloped the sky, and everyone from the Poison Valley and the traitor entered the illusion. Patriarch! Everyone went forward and helped the Patriarch up. They asked worriedly, what should we do now? Once they enter the illusion, the lich bone will definitely fall into their hands. Chapter 14:23. Where did the holy maiden go? The clan leader asked. The saintess seems to have gone to the dungeon. She won't be able to hear anything from here. That's good. The Patriarch let out a sigh of relief. Have the holy maiden take the sorcerer's enchantment flower and leave the sorcerer demon tribe. Go to Wither Dragon Town to find Lady Yun's friend. Also, have her stay outside for a while. Do not let her return to the sorcerer demon tribe. Patriarch! Everyone's expression changed drastically as if they already knew the reason behind the patriarch's order. The witch-demon race can no longer hold on. If the Holy Maiden is alive, the witch-demon race will have hope. The patriarch sighed. He insisted on standing up and said with a bitter smile, "I didn't expect that something like this would happen as soon as the saintess returned. Patriarch, about the inheritance, it's too late. If something happens to the witch-demon tribe in this period of time, the Holy Maiden will definitely be in danger. So, we can only send her away as soon as possible. But we can't hide the fact that Miss Yun has entered the illusion realm. The saintess will find out about what happened to the witch-demon tribe sooner or later." Hearing this, the clan leader sighed once again. "We'll hide it from her as long as we can. Of course, we can still tell her about Miss Yun going into the illusion, but we can't let her know that the people from the Poison Valley have also entered the illusion, and we can't let her know that I was poisoned." "Yes, Patriarch. All of you can leave. Send a few more experts to protect the saintess. Even if it means risking your life, you must keep her alive." The Holy Maiden was the only hope of the liches. Even if the shaman demon tribe was annihilated, she had to live. Understood. In the end, after a selection process, the two strongest people in the clan were chosen to protect Huang Yingying. Originally, when Huang Yingying heard that Yun Luofeng had been sent into the illusory realm, she insisted on staying. The clan leader could only reason with her and move her emotions. In the end, Huang Yingying reluctantly agreed to go to the withered dragon town to deliver the medicinal ingredients. Everyone in the witch-demon tribe had hidden the truth from her, so she had been kept in the dark. When she finally understood everything, it was already a few years later. Illusion. In a valley. The wind was gentle, the sun was bright, and the mountains were verdant and the water was clear. The few white clouds were like a fairyland, beautiful beyond compare. Yun Luofeng gently stroked his chin and muttered to himself for a moment. "I still don't know where the lich bone is hidden, but I have a feeling that the more dangerous the place, the more likely it is to be found." Roar. Suddenly, a ferocious roar came from the grass to the side. Ji Jiuqian quickly pulled Yun Luofeng to his side, and a gale shot out with a wave of his hand, piercing through the head of a male lion. Ji Jiuqian glanced at the young lady in white next to him and said, "Although this is an illusion, you'll also lose your life if you die in the hands of the spirit beast." Yun Luofeng nodded. "I understand. However, I'm curious as to what created this illusion. This illusion is a world of its own. Even the spirit beasts are so real." "There's someone here." Ji Jiuqian frowned. He pulled Yun Luofeng to the side of the grass and whispered in her ear. In reality, when Ji Jiuqian sensed someone else, Yun Luofeng also sensed it. What surprised her was that there was someone else in this illusion besides her and Ji Jiuqian. Then, who was it that had come? Just as Yun Luofeng was pondering, an aura approached them from afar. When Yun Luofeng saw the appearance of the person approaching, he suddenly noticed that Ji Jiuqian's breathing had become ragged, and his aura was surging out of him. Chapter 1424. Through the lush green leaves, Yun Luofeng could see a white baby face reflected in his eyes. It was a youth dressed in a white robe. He was about 15 or 16 years old, and his bright eyes were like the starry sky. His handsome and cute face looked harmless. His figure was tall and slender, and his proportions were perfect and exquisite. He had a head of silver-white hair, and he looked especially alluring under the blue sky. If this youth appeared anywhere else, perhaps no one would pay attention to him. However, this was the mystic realm where the lich bone was. It was extremely dangerous. How could an ordinary person appear in a place like this? Moreover, Yun Luofeng felt Ji Jiuqian's raging aura. Her heart unconsciously skipped a beat. I sensed that someone had come to this mystic realm. I didn't think it would be you, Ji Jiuqian. The young man's fair face was filled with a bright smile. His eyes were still as harmless as ever, and his voice was soft and cute without the slightest hint of aggression. Xiaofeng Ji Jiuqian saw that he had been discovered by the youth. He slowly stood up and whispered, "Hurry and leave. Leave this place. The further you escape, the better. Don't come looking for the lich bone again." Just as Yun Luofeng was in a daze, Ji Jiutian's voice became more serious. He shouted, "Hurry and leave." "Leave?" The youth smiled. His smile was like a demon recruiting you. It made your hair stand on end. "You think you can leave after coming to this place?" A gust of wind rose around the youth. He raised his chin arrogantly and sneered at Yin Luofeng. At the same time, Yin Luofeng felt an invisible hand restraining her. Her heart seemed to be under great pressure, making it hard for her to breathe. This youth was too strong. He was so strong that he didn't belong to this world. Ji Jiutian brushed his sleeves and walked in front of Yin Luofeng, blocking the youth's pressure. His face, which had always been frivolous, had a rare solemnity on it. "This is a grudge between us. She is innocent. Let him leave." "Innocent?" The youth sneered. His lips curled into a mocking smile. His eyes were arrogant and overbearing. "This woman is Zhu Qian's successor. You dare to say that she is innocent? Anyone related to Zhu Qian should die." Boom! The young man's aura spread out, covering the sky and covering the earth, enveloping the entire secluded valley. "However, I don't understand why my juniors would allow you all to enter the remnant." "Junior?" Yin Luofeng caught on to those two words. She gently raised her beautiful face and used all her might to ask, "Are you the ancestor of the shaman demon tribe?" The shaman demon bone was the remains of the shaman demon tribe's ancestor. Why was the shaman demon tribe's ancestor still alive? The young man stared at Yin Luofeng in shock. His eyes were filled with doubt. "Even though Ji Jiutian, that bastard, helped you resist a portion of the coercion, how can you still speak when I'm suppressing half of it?" "Interesting. This girl is really interesting. If you weren't Zhu Qian's successor, I might have accepted you as my disciple. Unfortunately, you just had to be related to Zhu Qian." The youth seemed to feel some regret. He shook his head as if he really felt pity for the relationship between Yin Luofeng and Zhu Qian. Mo Qiansheng. Ji Jiutian stood in front of Yin Luofeng. His red robes were like a demon's, and he was peerlessly enchanting. "Zhu Qian has already turned into a pile of bones. Why can't you forget him? Could it be that your love for Zhu Qian runs deep into your bones, and you hate him to the bone?" Chapter 1425. What did you say? The young man was clearly angered by Ji Jiutian's words. His eyes burned with anger. "Ji Jiutian, do you believe that I won't kill you right now? Everything I say is the truth." Ji Jiutian didn't seem to care about the angry young man at all. His lips curled into a disdainful smile. "Back then, you revealed your feelings to Zhu Qian in front of everyone. Zhu Qian's sexual orientation has always been normal, so when he rejected you, you became angry out of humiliation. That's why you became his enemy. You even helped those people deal with Zhu Qian." The young man's body trembled slightly. His white face turned even paler. "Ji Jiutian, you bastard. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you." All these years, he had always thought that he no longer loved that man. But now, Ji Jiutian's words had torn apart his self-righteous facade. He was so angry that he lost all reason and began to attack Ji Jiutian. "Xiaofeng run." Ji Jiutian took advantage of this moment to push Yin Luofeng away and face the young man's attack. At that moment, a powerful force spread out from the two of them, and the entire valley was destroyed into ruins. Their fists collided in the wind. The force tore their clothes to shreds, revealing their fair skin. Of these two people, one was handsome and cute with a tall figure. The other was a peerless demon with unparalleled elegance. Any woman who saw this scene would feel their heart palpitate uncontrollably and their saliva dripping. Unfortunately, Yin Luofeng's gaze was focused on their battle. He didn't appreciate the two's figures. "Ji Jiutian, 1,000 years ago, you were stronger than you are now. Why have you regressed after 1,000 years?" The young man took 2 steps back. His bloodshot eyes stared coldly at Ji Jiutian. "You haven't improved much either." Ji Jiutian's smile was wild and domineering. His red robe was like a demon. "Based on what you just said, I could kill you 1,000,000 times over." The young man gritted his teeth. His eyes were filled with hatred. "If you could kill me, you would have done so earlier. However, I'm afraid you can't kill me right now. Jiuqian laughed wildly. He didn't think much of the young man before him. The youth snorted coldly and said, "Do you really not know, or are you pretending not to know? This place was set up by Zhu Qian to trap me. I can't go too far away from the cave. If I leave that place, I can only use 1/10 of my strength. Therefore, you'd better not step into my territory. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead." He would not let off anyone related to Zhu Qian. "If it was 1,000 years ago, you wouldn't be a match for me." Zhu Qian glanced at the angry young man and said arrogantly, "You said it was 1,000 years ago. Although I have been trapped in this place for the past 1,000 years, I have never stopped cultivating. Although my cultivation speed is very slow due to the restrictions, it is still not enough. But I still improved. You've regressed a lot." The young man looked at Zhu Qian coldly. "So, this time, you'll definitely be defeated by me." The young man knew that he couldn't deal with Jiuqian in this place. Therefore, he looked at him one last time before his white robe flashed, and he quickly headed towards the top of the mountain. After he left, Yin Luofeng felt the aura that had locked onto her disappear. However, her expression didn't relax. Instead, it became even more serious. Chapter 1426. He is not the ancestor of the shaman demon tribe. Jiuqian seemed to know the doubts in Yin Luofeng's heart. He turned to look at her and said, "The ancestor of the shaman demon tribe was a spiritual beast. Unfortunately, this spiritual beast is his mount." Yin Luofeng frowned slightly. It seemed that they were in trouble this time. "Are you confident that you can defeat him?" Yin Luofeng pondered for a moment before asking. "If it was in the past, 10 Mo Qiansheng's would not be my match. But now, Jiuqian, he just said that your strength has regressed. What's going on? More importantly, I want to know why you can live for 1,000 years without changing your appearance." Jiuqian fell silent. His silence caused the atmosphere to become serious. Just as Yin Luofeng thought that he would not answer, the man's voice finally sounded. "You should have seen Zhu Qian's remnant soul. Back then, Zhu Qian deliberately left behind a remnant soul in order to pass on his abilities. The other souls needed to be reincarnated. In reality, his soul was extremely weak at that time and could disappear at any time. Furthermore, he forcefully left behind a remnant of his soul, which almost caused his soul to dissipate. In order to allow him to safely reincarnate as a human, I used a secret technique. The consequence of the secret technique is that I will never be able to advance any further. As for my strength regressing," Jiuqian laughed. "It was because I fought with someone more than 10 years ago and fell into his trap. As a result, my strength regressed quite a bit." Yin Luofeng listened quietly to Jiuqian. After a long time, she asked, "Then why have you been able to live for 1,000 years without changing your appearance?" "I can't tell you this for now. With your current strength, the less you know, the better. Otherwise, it will affect your cultivation." Jiuqian's phoenix eyes stared at Yin Luofeng. "Girl, you still have a long way to go. As long as you continue, all the answers you want to know will appear in front of you." After pondering for a long time, Yin Luofeng nodded. "I understand. Also, I just checked this illusion and found that one can only enter but not leave." After knowing the youth's strength, she had already given up on the shaman bone. Unfortunately, one could enter this illusion but not leave. "Oh," Jiuqian raised his eyebrows. "This is indeed troublesome. Girl, wait for me here. I'll go find a way to leave." Jiuqian. Seeing that Jiuqian was about to turn and leave, Yin Luofeng called out from behind, "Be careful." Jiuqian's footsteps paused, but in the end, he did not turn around. That demonic red robe instantly disappeared before her eyes. After Jiuqian left, Yin Luofeng found a cave and sat down to cultivate. Furthermore, he had fire and the others guard the cave for her. Once he started cultivating, time passed very quickly. In this illusory realm, there's also day and night. Thus, Yin Luofeng was able to determine that Jiuqian had left for over 3 months through the change in the sky. At this moment, within the cave, a tornado was spiraling above the young lady's head. The tornado was growing stronger and stronger until it finally exploded with a loud boom. Because this was an illusion, Yin Luofeng did not deliberately hide himself, nor did he go to the divine grimoire space to break through. But she didn't know that there was someone else besides her in the illusion. Lord Xianfei, look, there seems to be someone there. Chapter 14:27. The power produced by breaking through to Saint Ruler was so great that it formed a pillar of spiritual energy in the air that shot straight into the cave. Therefore, the people of Poison Valley, who had also stayed in the illusion for 3 months, discovered Yin Luofeng, who had just finished his breakthrough. Let's go. The gray-robed elder named Xianfei narrowed his sinister eyes. Let's go and take a look. 3 months. They had searched for the innocent for 3 months. Whether it was Yin Luofeng who had entered the illusion first or the Lichbone, they had not found anything. Now that they had finally found Yin Luofeng's location, they immediately rushed over in the cave. The young girl opened her eyes and slowly exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. I've finally broken through to the Saint King intermediate level. However, she still had a long way to go before she became a true powerhouse. Jiutian isn't back yet. Yin Luofeng slowly stood up. Worry flashed across his lightly furrowed brows. He has already left for 3 months. Why hasn't he returned yet? No, I can't stay here and wait for him. I have to find his whereabouts. After saying that, Yin Luofeng slowly walked out of the cave. She had just stepped out of the cave when a fiery red figure fell from the sky. With a bang, Yin Luofeng was hit by the figure before she could react. Get lost! Yin Luofeng shouted angrily. She wanted to push away the person who was pressing down on her, but when she looked up, she froze. Ji Jiuqian? Where did the domineering and arrogant man from before come from? Her peerlessly beautiful face was deathly pale, and there was a trace of fresh blood at the corner of her mouth. Her eyes were tightly shut, and she did not make a single sound. Fortunately, this guy is still alive. Feeling the man's weak breath, Yin Luofeng sighed in relief. She crawled out from under the man's body, took out a spiritual herb from her space ring, and fed it to him. This elixir was something she had prepared before she stepped into the shaman tribe. With the current level of the divine grimoire space, it would only take a few days for it to grow. In order to prevent the spiritual herb from being harmed by the small tree, she hurriedly plucked it and hid it in her interspatial ring as soon as it had grown. Cough, cough. Ji Jiuqian coughed out a mouthful of blood and slowly opened his eyes. What happened? Yin Luofeng frowned and asked. When I was looking for a way, I accidentally stepped into Mo Qianqing's territory. Ji Jiuqian struggled to sit up from the ground. I couldn't beat him, so I risked my life to escape. In addition, I also found a way to leave the illusion. That method is in the cave that Mo Qianqing lives in. Hearing Ji Jiutian's words, Yin Luofeng's heart thumped. This time, we still have to fight Mo Qianqing? It seemed that she had been rash in her exploration this time. No one had expected that there would be a powerful youth living in this illusory realm. This was especially true since this youth had a deep love for Zhu Qian, to the extent that he wouldn't even let the people around him go. Ji Jiutian, can you tell me about the relationship between Zhu Qian and Mo Qianqing? Yin Luofeng asked after thinking about it. Ji Jiutian raised his lips and smiled. His voice was a little weak. Actually, Zhu Qian's experience is very similar to yours. However, he wasn't as lucky as you to have a group of people by your side to help you. He, who was also a good-for-nothing, had walked through countless dangers and explored countless mystic realms before he reached this stage. Mo Qianqing, and I also met him at that time. Chapter 14:28. Zhu Qian and I probably never thought that Mo Qianqing would fall in love with him. Mo Qianqing couldn't get his love, and because he lost face, he hated Zhu Qian to the bone. He also participated in the encirclement of Zhu Qian. But the day before the encirclement, Mo Qianqing came to find him and said that if Zhu Qian was willing to stay with him, he would help him get through this crisis. But he underestimated Zhu Qian's temper, so Zhu Qian locked him up. Ji Jiutian looked up at Yin Luofeng, a helpless smile on his beautiful face. Actually, Zhu Qian had the chance to kill Mo Qianqing, but he softened in the end. This man is always like this. He can never be cruel to those who once fought with him. Also, after Xianxia's spirit beast, the ancestor of the shaman demon tribe, died, Zhu Qian sent him into the illusion realm to accompany him. Isn't the ancestor of the shaman demon tribe just a skeleton? How? Yin Luofeng was puzzled. Jiutian laughed wildly. Who told you that it was just a skeleton? If it was just a skeleton, would the shaman demon tribe worship it? Just as Yin Luofeng was about to continue speaking, whoosh, 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 countless figures descended from the sky and hovered above their heads. Among those people, the leader was a gray-robed old man. His face was dark and his aura was murderous. Just being stared at by him made one feel like a poisonous snake was coiled around their neck, suffocating them. But Yin Luofeng's gaze swept over and landed on the old man behind the gray-robed old man. His expression changed. You're for the shaman demon tribe? Why are you here? Shaman demon tribe? The traitorous old man laughed. The shaman demon tribe's patriarch is already in danger. I am from the Poison Valley. Yin Luofeng, Ji Jiutian, you are not worthy of the shaman demon bone. This shaman demon bone is destined to belong to the Poison Valley. Yin Luofeng's expression darkened. She had never thought that the shaman demon tribe would change like this in the 3 months she had been in the illusion realm. Girl, Ji Jiutian forced himself to stand and said in a low voice, run up the mountain. Hurry. No. Yin Luofeng supported Ji Jiutian's body. If we go, I have to take you with me. If it was the Ji Jiutian from before he was injured, these people would have no problem dealing with him. However, the current him was heavily injured by Xianxia. Even though he had taken the elixirs, it was impossible for him to recover in a short period of time. Trying to run? Xiang's face smiled sinisterly. I'm afraid you don't have this chance anymore. Ji Jiutian, I originally thought it would take me some time to deal with you. I didn't expect that even the heavens would help me and actually let you get injured. Therefore, this time, the two of you must die. There was only one lich bone, and anyone who tried to snatch it was an enemy. Go kill these 2 people. The people of the Poison Valley didn't waste any more words. They quickly rushed toward Ji Jiutian and Yin Luofeng. Their aura was overbearing, and they were like lightning. Ji Jiutian smiled as he looked at the people who were rushing over. His laughter was wild and domineering, echoing throughout the entire valley. Even if I'm injured, I'm not someone you ants can act presumptuously. At this moment, the man's red robes fluttered. A murderous aura spread across the entire sky, causing the sky to darken. The entire valley darkened. The people who were rushing toward Ji Jiutian fell from the sky due to his powerful aura. It was as if a huge mountain was pressing down on them, firmly pressing them to the ground, making them unable to move. Chapter 1429. Ji Jiutian had yet to recover from his injuries, but he had already used such a powerful force. His blood flowed backward, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. It was a ghastly sight, like a beautiful rose. Enough! Yin Luofeng's expression tightened, and he quickly moved to Ji Jiutian's side. Ji Jiutian, you have yet to recover from your injuries. Leave these people to me. Ji Jiutian raised his hand and blocked Yin Luofeng's path. His wild red robe floated in front of the young girl, causing her heart to tremble. I promised the Ghost Emperor that I would protect you. I must do what I promised. No matter how the world called him cruel and heartless or eccentric, he had never gone back on his word. Moreover, even without the Ghost Emperor's request, he would never let her be in any danger. Yin Luofeng raised his head and looked at the people from the Poison Valley who were rushing towards Ji Jiutian. Once again, he felt that he was not powerful enough. If she was powerful enough, Ji Jiutian would not have taken such a risk. I have said many times that I will never let the people around me get hurt. But Yin Xiao, Xiao Bai, Hong Wan, and Ji Jiutian, which one of them has not been hurt because of me? General Wen also died to protect my family. Countless enemies want to use the lives of my family to threaten me, but I am so weak. Her strength had increased very quickly. In less than 10 years, she had broken through to the Holy King realm from a nobody. However, as her strength increased, the enemies she encountered also became more and more powerful, She had to make herself stronger in order to protect the people around her. Master, Xiao wanted to comfort Yin Luofeng, but didn't know where to start. He understood that in this short period of 6 months, Yin Luofeng had seen how much Yun Xiao had sacrificed for her. Then, Hong Wan had been crippled to protect her. Now, even Ji Jiutian had disregarded his injuries to fight. But he couldn't do anything. How could she feel good in her heart? Fortune comes from danger. Xiao Mo this time, I must face Mo Qianxing head-on. Only by obtaining the Lich Bone will my strength have a significant increase. Yin Luofeng clenched his fists tightly. Previously, due to Mo Qianxing's strength, she had temporarily given up on obtaining the Lich Bone. This time, no matter how great the danger, she must obtain such a treasure. Only by doing so could he increase his strength. The Poison Valley's men fell one by one. Xianxia, who was initially brimming with confidence, finally turned grim. This Ji Jiutian's strength is beyond my imagination. Even if he's heavily injured, he could still unleash such power. If this continued, they would definitely be annihilated. Lord Xianxia, we can't hold on much longer. The traitor old man's forehead was covered in sweat. He turned around and said, I remember that you told the patriarch that you have a way to deal with Ji Jiutian. Now, I implore you to take action and subdue Ji Jiutian. Xianxia snorted coldly and raised his head to look at Ji Jiutian with a sinister glint in his eyes. Ji Jiutian, I'll give you a chance to surrender. Otherwise, I'm afraid you won't even have the chance to reincarnate. Ji Jiutian sneered and said arrogantly, I will never yield to anyone. If you really have the ability, you can use it all. I want to see what your trump cards are. Chapter 1430. Xianxia laughed coldly as he looked at Ji Jiutian with disdain. Since that's the case, you forced me to show my trump card. He had dared to step into the illusion even after knowing that Ji Jiutian was in it, because he knew Ji Jiutian's weakness. In the entire continent, there were probably only a handful of people who knew of this weakness. Initially, I didn't want to summon my spiritual beast. But now, in order to deal with you, I have no choice but to use my spiritual hound. Spiritual hound? Just as Yin Luofeng was pondering over Xianxia's intentions, he suddenly realized that the man's aura had changed. His expression was one of panic that she had never seen before. Boom! Just then, a large hound fell from the sky and landed heavily on the ground. The spiritual hound's entire body was enveloped in a layer of flames. Its eyes were fierce and malevolent as it stared cruelly at Ji Jiutian and Yin Luofeng. Jiutian. Yin Luofeng's demonic eyes swept towards Ji Jiutian. Are you afraid of dogs? Ji Jiutian's body trembled as his devilish face turned pale. He had never been afraid of anything. He probably wouldn't even fear the king of hell himself. Yet, he had one thing that he feared the most. That thing was a hound. Whenever he saw a hound, he would feel his heart stop. His entire body would tense up, and he would not even be able to use his spiritual energy. Otherwise, he would not have been injured by those people back then, and his powers would not have regressed to such an extent. However, this secret was only known to the person who had injured him back then. Why did these people in front of him know his weakness? What's your relationship with that old fart Wu Dao? Ji Jiutian felt as if a rock was pressing down on his chest, making it difficult for him to breathe. His bloodshot eyes stared coldly at the people from Poison Valley as a cold light flashed in his eyes. I'm his successor. Xianxia laughed icily. He was afraid that you would come for revenge, so he told me your weakness. Ji Jiutian, will you still be as arrogant as before? Woof! The spiritual hound barked and charged towards Ji Jiutian. Ji Jiutian wanted to resist, but he suddenly realized that his legs were trembling, and he couldn't move them at all. Seeing that the spiritual dog was getting closer and closer, he slammed his fist fiercely on his thigh bone. His coquettish face was filled with anxiety and anger. Damn it, why does it have to be a spirit dog? If it was any other spirit beast, he would be able to destroy it in an instant. But this was a spirit dog, his only weakness. Just as the spirit dog was about to pounce on Ji Jiutian, a white robe suddenly flashed and blocked Ji Jiutian's path. Girl, get out of the way. Ji Jiutian's eyes were bloodshot as his domineering voice echoed throughout the forest. But at this moment, the spirit dog had already arrived in front of Yin Luofeng. Its sharp claws viciously bit down on the arm that Yin Luofeng was using to block the attack. Bright red blood flowed from the gaps between the dog's teeth. That dazzling blood-red color was like a bright rose, causing Ji Jiutian's heart to suddenly tighten. His throat seemed to be choked, and he was unable to say a single word. Ji Jiutian, I never thought that the fearless you would be afraid of dogs. The young girl's voice was filled with flattery. If this had happened in the past, Ji Jiutian would certainly have defended himself. But now, he was unable to say a single word. Only that pair of phoenix-like eyes grew redder, as if they were filled with a blood-red light. Chapter 1431. I suspect. Yin Luofeng paused, then curled her lips and said, Were you bitten to death by a dog in your past life? Why are you so afraid of it? Yin Luofeng. Ji Jiutian's expression had already calmed down, but the red light in his eyes did not diminish. Instead, it became even more intense. You won't be of any use if you stay here. Leave immediately. Hurry up and leave. When Mo Xianxia appeared, you told me to leave. When the people from the Poison Valley came looking for trouble, you also told me to escape. Ji Jiutian, in your heart, do you think that I, Yin Luofeng, am a coward? The young girl laughed. Her laughter struck Ji Jiutian's heart fiercely, easily igniting his anger. It's better for you to be alive than for both of us to die. That's why I let you go. Why did this girl not listen to him every single time? Could it be that she really wanted to be buried with him? This time, Yin Luofeng simply ignored the man behind her and turned to look at the spirit dog that was biting her. Boom! A powerful force penetrated her arm and exploded. The spirit dog finally let go of Yin Luofeng's arm in pain. However, it quickly pounced towards the young girl again. At the same time, it spat out a mouthful of flames. In the past, Yin Luofeng would have chosen to dodge the flames. But now, Ji Jiutian was behind her. Therefore, she could not dodge and could only face the attack head-on. Bang! Her fist landed on the flames. In an instant, the flames dissipated and the spirit dog's sharp claws swung towards her once again. They were as sharp as daggers. Ji Jiutian looked at Yin Luofeng, who was fighting with the spirit dog, and clenched his fists tightly. Whether it was because he had used too much strength or because he was afraid of the spirit dog, Ji Jiutian's fist trembled slightly. This spirit dog was a holy venerate spiritual beast. Even though Yin Luofeng had already reached the level of a holy king, there was still a huge gap between her and this holy venerate spiritual beast. Therefore, Yin Luofeng was at a disadvantage in no time. At this moment, Xianxia seemed to think that the spirit dog's battle speed was too slow and personally attacked. His aura was like a mountain crushing down, and with a loud bang, Yin Luofeng's body was sent flying. At the same time, the sharp sword formed from spiritual energy instantly cut through the void, piercing towards the girl's body. The young girl's expression was calm as she fearlessly looked at the sharp sword that had appeared out of nowhere. A dignified look flashed across her demonic eyes. Could it be? Would she and Ji Jiutian die here today? No, she hadn't seen Xianxia yet, so she couldn't die in this place. When she decided to fight, just now, she had forcefully kept fire and the other beasts into the divine grimoire space and cut off the connection with the divine grimoire space. Therefore, the spiritual beasts in the space were unable to detect the situation outside. Phone! Ji Jiutian's tightly clenched fists once again hung on his legs. His anxious eyes were filled with anger. Damn it! Were you afraid of a time like this? Could it be that you want to watch Feng or sacrifice himself? If that's the case, how can you face your deceased friend? Perhaps it was the nervousness in his heart that made Ji Jiutian finally take his first step. He didn't have time to rejoice. He quickly moved forward and pulled Yin Luofeng, who was under the 10,000 swords, into his arms. Bang! Countless rays of light shot out from his sleeves and shot towards the attacking spiritual swords. In an instant, all the swords turned back into spiritual energy and disappeared into the sky. Chapter 1432. The young girl raised her eyes, and her demonic gaze fell upon the man's flirtatious face. Her lips curled into a small smile. Ji Jiuqian, you've finally gotten rid of your weakness. Actually, Yin Luofeng could have escaped with Ji Jiuqian even if she had not fought. However, she had decided to risk her life in order to get rid of Ji Jiuqian's weakness. If Ji Jiuqian had a weakness and it was announced to the world in the future, he would definitely be in danger. That was why she had tried her luck. Silly girl. Ji Jiuqian's flirtatious tone was filled with affection that even he did not realize. I told you to run. Why didn't you? I owe you too much. Yin Luofeng laughed, so I'm returning you a favor now. She was not referring to saving Ji Jiuqian, but helping him get rid of his fear towards dog-type spiritual beasts. Ji Jiuqian seemed displeased with her words and frowned. You want to return my favor so badly. What else? She had never liked owing debts, especially debts of favors. However, in her heart, Ji Jiuqian's position was already equal to Nangong Yunni's. Ji Jiuqian's heart was filled with rage, but he could not lash out at Yin Luofeng. He could only sweep his cold gaze toward the people from Poison Valley. Impossible. This is impossible. My master had clearly said that you are very afraid of dog-type spiritual beasts. Why are you safe and sound now? Xianxia's face was pale as he stumbled back in fear. Ji Jiuqian laughed coldly. You've caused this girl to return a favor to me. How am I going to settle this debt with you? Hearing this, the crowd almost fell to the ground. He was so angry not because the people from Poison Valley had plotted against him, but because Poison Valley's appearance had caused Yin Luofeng to return a favor to him. Ji, Xianxia gulped fiercely. Young Master Ji, this is a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. We'll leave now and promise not to fight for the Lich's bone with you. What Lich's bone? How could it be more important than his life? Only the Valley Master could fight against Ji Jiuqian. He was far from being Ji Jiuqian's match. Run! Xianxia could not be bothered with the others and hurriedly ran up the mountain. The others were so scared that they even forgot to run away. Xianxia, who had thought that Ji Jiuqian would definitely chase after him, realized that the man did not chase after him. Instead, he vented his anger on the others. What followed next was a one-sided massacre. The people of the Poison Valley had no way to resist. Under Ji Jiuqian's attack, they could not be any more dead. Not long after, besides the fleeing Xianxia, everyone else had become corpses. Even the old man who had betrayed the Witch Demon tribe was no exception. He had originally thought that by joining the Poison Valley, he would be able to become an elder no matter what, but he did not expect that he would die in the illusion in the end. Woof! When the spirit dog saw Ji Jiuqian approaching it, it took 2 steps back in fear and used its voice to warn Ji Jiuqian not to come any closer. Get down from me. Ji Jiuqian raised his bewitching face, and his voice was arrogant and domineering. The spirit dog immediately laid on the ground in submission. It whimpered twice, and the savagery in its eyes turned into pity. I really don't know why I'm afraid of a spirit beast of your level. In fact, Ji Jiuqian did not know why he had this weakness. Chapter 1433. If it wasn't for Yin Luofeng this time, perhaps he wouldn't have been able to restrain the fear in his heart. Perhaps, as Yin Luofeng said, he might have died in the hands of a dog-type spirit beast in his previous life. However, Ji Jiuqian didn't realize that before Yin Luofeng fought with the spirit dog, she quietly sealed his acupuncture point and placed a spirit herb beside him. Her actions played a supporting role in helping Ji Jiuqian restrain his fear. To truly make him correct his weakness, he still needed to rely on his own courage to stand up. Ji Jiuqian took out a rope out of nowhere, wrapped it around the spirit dog's neck, and led it in front of Yin Luofeng. His voice was domineering and concise. For you. The corner of Yin Luofeng's mouth twitched. I don't need it. As if he didn't hear her, Ji Jiuqian continued. You owe me another favor, so you won't be able to repay what you owe me in this lifetime. How could he forcefully sell a favor like this? If he owed this favor, it would be a great loss. If one isn't enough, I'll continue to catch a few more spirit beasts for you. Anyway, You can't repay what you owe me in this lifetime. If you repay one, I'll make you owe another. Yin Luofeng was stunned. Ji Jiutian, what do you want? I only want you to continue owing favors. Yin Luofeng, you won't be able to get rid of me in this lifetime. When he said the last few words, Ji Jiutian gritted his teeth. Didn't this girl want to repay the favor and never see him again? Dream on. He couldn't let that happen. The only way was to make her continue owing favors, so she couldn't get rid of him. Ji Jiutian. Yin Luofeng was just about to get angry, but she saw the man who was originally standing straight in front of her suddenly fall to the ground. She didn't have time to think and quickly stepped forward, planning to support Ji Jiutian. However, the spirit dog quickly stepped forward and used its back to support the man. Dog spirit beasts had always been good at pleasing humans, and they were also very loyal. Otherwise, there wouldn't be the term loyal dog. Of course, the premise was that if the other party was really the spirit dog's master, then it absolutely wouldn't abandon its master. This spirit dog was captured on the road by Xianxia, but it didn't receive the spirit dog's true approval. It only fought for him because it was afraid of being beaten. Therefore, the spirit dog would easily abandon it. Once it was truly acknowledged, it would never betray its master for the rest of its life. This was the origin of a loyal dog. He hasn't fully recovered from his injuries. He should rest for a while. Unfortunately, Xianxia managed to escape. If it wasn't for Ji Jiutian's injuries, no one from the Poison Valley would have been able to return alive. It was precisely because Ji Jiutian was heavily injured that he was unable to chase after Xianxia. That was why Xianxia managed to escape from his line of sight. The spirit dog whimpered for a while before carefully putting Ji Jiutian down and lying obediently at the side. You want to follow us? Yin Luofeng looked at the spirit dog and asked. The spirit dog hurriedly nodded and looked at Yin Luofeng apologetically. Can't you speak human language? Yin Luofeng was startled. He looked at the spirit hound. At your realm, you should be able to speak, but you can't speak? Yin Luofeng scrutinized the spirit hound from head to toe before coming to a sudden realization. You must have been poisoned by someone, causing you to be unable to speak. Although I don't know why that person did that, I can help you. Chapter 1434. The spirit hound's eyes brightened as it whimpered pitifully. But what I want is your true loyalty, not your superficial submission like the people of Poison Valley. The spirit hound fell silent. It truly did not want to follow Yin Luofeng. It only wanted to live. After all, spirit beasts were rarely willing to pledge their loyalty. Once they did, it was for life. After a long silence, the spirit hound looked at Yin Luofeng and whimpered again. Master, it's saying that if you cure it of the poison, it'll be completely loyal to you. Since the danger was over, Yin Luofeng had regained his connection with the divine grimoire space. All right, Yin Luofeng nodded. Help me carry Ji Jiutian to the cave and let him rest. Once we leave this illusion, I'll cure you of the poison. Hearing this, the spirit hound ran excitedly and almost threw Ji Jiutian off its back. Fortunately, Ji Jiutian was already unconscious. Otherwise, if he knew what the spirit hound was doing, wouldn't he kill him with one slap? 2 days had passed by the time Ji Jiutian had fully recovered. During these 2 days, the spirit hound had guarded the two dutifully. Any spirit beasts that approached them in the illusion were silently taken care of. Seeing that Ji Jiutian had mostly recovered, Yin Luofeng said slowly, since there's only one way out of this place, we must go no matter how dangerous it is. Have you thought it through? Ji Jiutian looked at Yin Luofeng. If you've thought it through, I'll accompany you to the end. Let's go. Yin Luofeng looked at the spirit hound and said, Are you waiting for us here or coming with us? Woo woo. The spirit hound walked to Yin Luofeng's side and rubbed its head against her leg, wagging its tail in a pitiful manner. This meant that no matter where Yin Luofeng went, it would follow her. All right, then come with us. Also, you don't have a name yet. How about I give you one? Yin Luofeng looked at the spirit hound and asked. The spirit hound wagged its tail and looked at Yin Luofeng. From now on, Your name will be Cha-Cha. Cha-Cha. Forget about the spirit hound. Even Ji Jiuqian looked at her curiously. Why was it given this name? Yin Luofeng was silent for a while. I miss my old man. And then, the old man likes to drink tea. So, because Master Shun liked to drink tea and she missed him, she gave the spiritual dog this name? On the contrary, the spirit dog seemed to like it very much. It kept wagging its tail, and its eyes always had a pitiful look. All right, let's go. Yun Luofeng turned his head, his expression solemn, because what they were about to face was a powerful enemy on top of the mountain. The clouds and mist were chaotic. The cave at the top of the mountain was not like the one Yun Luofeng lived in during this period of time. On the contrary, it was like a paradise, the environment extremely beautiful. Furthermore, the inside of the cave had become a world of its own. Waterfalls, high mountains, blue sky, white clouds, everything was there. At this moment, the white-robed youth was standing on a branch, looking down at the bones below. It was the skeleton of a giant dragon. It was eerie and terrifying, and a transparent shadow could be vaguely seen in the skeleton. If one looked closely, they would discover that this shadow was a huge black dragon. It was lively and agile, as if it wanted to break free from something and break out. Chapter 1435. Little Black. I met Ji Jiuqian and Zhu Qian's successor. The young man pursed his pink lips. Logically speaking, after so many years, I should have forgotten about Zhu Qian. However, he's still in my mind, and I can't get rid of him. The dragon's soul struggled and growled. Its eyes were filled with pain, and its expression was extremely dispirited. Do you know? I don't hate Zhu Qian for rejecting me. I don't hate him for embarrassing me either. Back then, since I decided to find him and expose those people's conspiracy, it proves that I don't hate him anymore. However, that bastard actually locked me up in this place for 1,000 years. In this place, I'm immortal, and immortal. I've lived alone for 1,000 years. All right, you're here to accompany me. That fellow has a conscience and left you here to accompany me. Moreover, in order to prevent your soul from dispersing, he fixed your soul inside your corpse so that you can stay here forever. However, I'm human, so what if you're here to accompany me? I've left the mortal world and been locked up here. How can I not hate him? It's fine if he doesn't love me, but why does he have to use such a method to torture me? Why? The young man's eyes were filled with hatred. It seemed like he could never understand why Zhu Qian locked him up here. He had made him suffer for 1,000 years. Do you really not understand why Zhu Qian locked you up here? Suddenly, a demonic voice came from the front, causing the young man's body to tense up. Boundless anger once again surged into his heart. Ji Jiuqian, I didn't think that you would dare to appear again. You escaped a few days ago, but now you've actually come back. Zhu Qian didn't answer him. His phoenix eyes were filled with ridicule. 1,000 years ago, you joined forces with the people of the world to deal with Zhu Qian. Do you think that those people would forgive you after killing Zhu Qian? Those sanctimonious old fellows would never admit that they were able to kill Zhu Qian because of a young man. Because of that, Ji Jiuqian's eyes turned cold. That definitely won't let you off. Humph. The young man snorted coldly and raised his chin arrogantly. I knew that a long time ago, but so what? Zhu Qian and I cannot live together, but we could die together. I have no regrets. Ji Jiuqian glanced at him and curled his lips in a demonic manner. However, you are heartless towards Zhu Qian. He won't be heartless towards you. In order to protect you, he locked you up in this place. Nonsense. Ji Jiuqian's words were like a needle piercing the young man's heart, causing his body to tremble and his eyes to be filled with anger. It's impossible for Zhu Qian to care about me. Ever since he rejected me, he never spoke to me again. He hates me in his heart. It's because he hates me that he locked me up and tortured me. What I said is the truth. It's up to you whether you believe me or not. The man's words completely infuriated the young man. He suddenly stood up and released his aura as he launched a powerful attack at Ji Jiuqian. Shut up. I won't allow you to speak nonsense. Zhu Qian had always hated him. Otherwise, how could you be so cold to him? Ji Jiutian was just spouting nonsense in order to survive. That's right, he must be spouting nonsense. The young man's strength was very strong, forcing Ji Jiutian to retreat. His eyes were bloodshot, as if he had fallen in a madness and only wanted to destroy the enemy in front of him. Chapter 14:36. At this moment, the sky darkened and the sun and moon lost their light. The entire sky seemed to be covered in a layer of gray, and a cold aura emanated from the darkness. Xianxia angrily attacked Ji Jiutian. His black hair fluttered wildly in the air, as if he had turned into a demon. He had completely lost his mind. Bang! His fist was wrapped in destructive power as it landed heavily on Ji Jiutian's chest. In that instant, Ji Jiutian coughed up a mouthful of blood, and a mocking smile appeared on his bewitching face. Xianxia, this seat is speaking the truth. It's up to you whether you believe me or not. Shut up. Shut up. Another wave of spiritual energy rose from the youth's body and shot out like it was free. It stirred up a cloud of dust and left a deep gully in the ground where the spiritual energy swept. Boom! Ji Jiutian raised his hand to block and was forced back a few steps by this wave of spiritual energy. The only thing that didn't change was the disdain on his face. The youth was so angry that his entire body trembled. That bastard Zhu Qian, how could he have locked him up in this godforsaken place? Because of him. He was only doing it for revenge. Everything Ji Jiutian said was false. All of it was false. As if to strengthen his belief, the youth swarmed forward and arrived in front of Ji Jiutian in the blink of an eye. He swept his leg and ruthlessly kicked the man's chest. The man raised his hand to block, but the difference in strength between the two of them was too great. This kick caused Ji Jiutian's body to rapidly retreat, and a trickle of blood flowed from the corner of his lips. Little Mo, is there any way to deal with him? Yin Luofeng clenched his fists, and his evil eyes were filled with anxiety. It could be said that the youth in front of him was the most powerful enemy he had ever met. Bang, bang, bang. The youth didn't stop attacking. His legs kicked the man again and again. His voice was still trembling with anger as he said in a stern voice, Ji Jiutian, I want you to tell me that Zhu Qian hates me. He doesn't hate you. The man's voice was low and demonic, but it caused the youth's heart to tremble even more. He has never hated you. No, you're lying. The youth's eyes turned blood red, and his attacks became fiercer. However, his moves were a little messy. Even his breathing had become restless. It was obvious that Ji Jiutian's words had disturbed his mind. Bang! When the last kick landed, Ji Jiutian was finally unable to resist. His body shot out swiftly and crashed to the ground, creating a huge pit in the ground below him. The man lay in the middle of the pit. His bewitching red robes seemed to be stained with blood. His beautiful face was curled into a mocking smile. Ji Jiutian, tell me right now that you are lying to me. Zhu Qian has never cared about me. He wants to take revenge on me. The young man gritted his teeth, his eyes filled with hatred. A powerful storm was gathering in his slightly raised palm. This windstorm seemed to have the power to destroy heaven and earth. If it were to land on someone, that person's soul would scatter and they would never be able to reincarnate. If you say these words, I will let you go. Otherwise, I will kill you right here and now. At this moment, the young man's robes fluttered wildly in the wind. He looked crazy and powerful. I will never take back the words that I have spoken. Ji Jiutian sneered as he stared expressionlessly at the crazed eyes of the young man. Chapter 14:37. The originally dusky sky instantly became filled with lightning and thunder. Countless strong gales gathered in the youth's palm, causing the power in her palm to grow stronger and stronger. It was enough to destroy everything. Ji Jiutian. Yin Luofeng's expression suddenly turned cold. She quickly rushed in front of Ji Jiutian. She caressed the man's weak body and frowned. I'll take you away from here now. Ji Jiutian laughed. Girl, do you think we can escape from this place? Yin Luofeng fell silent. For the first time, she felt regret. She regretted entering the illusion. She also regretted dragging Ji Jiutian into this. "Umph." The young man looked at the two people in the pit, and a murderous intent flashed across his bloodshot eyes. "Ji Jiuqian, since you refuse to say those words, I will send you to the netherworld realm to accompany Ji Jiuqian." A strong gust of wind blew across the entire mountain. Yun Luofeng struggled to stand in the wind. Even taking a step was very strenuous. This was Mo Qianqing's power. No one could compare to him. "All of you die." Mo Qianqing's voice was filled with hatred. The storm in his palm was about to form. Under this powerful force, no one could resist and could only be slaughtered. "No!" Yin Luofeng's heart gradually sank. "I can't die here. Yin Xiao is still waiting for me. I can't drag Ji Jiuqian down." Then she could only fight with her life on the line. Thinking of this, Yin Luofeng put down Ji Jiuqian and turned to look at the handsome youth standing in the wind. She struggled to walk towards him. "What are you doing?" Ji Jiuqian's expression changed when he saw Yin Luofeng's actions. He tried to stand up. "You're not Mo Qianqing's match." Yin Luofeng didn't seem to hear Ji Jiuqian's words. Her dark eyes stared deeply at Mo Qianqing. "Mo Qianqing, do you know why I was able to give Zhu Qian's inheritance?" The girl's voice was calm and silent as it slowly echoed in the wind. Mo Qianqing was stunned. He quickly reacted and said mockingly, "You think I'll let you go just because you're Zhu Qian's successor? You're wrong. If you weren't related to Zhu Qian, I might have let you go. It's because you inherited his ability that I want to kill you." After saying this, Mo Qianqing's murderous aura spread out once again. It was so strong that it made people's hearts tremble. Yun Luofeng's gaze was fixed on Mo Qianqing, and his evil eyes were exceptionally bright at this moment. Even in the face of such a crisis, she was still calm and composed. She did not panic or panic. "Do you think that a proud and aloof person like Zhu Qian would really hand over his inheritance to someone else?" Mo Qianqing finally frowned, but the strength in his hand did not decrease in the slightest. Instead, it increased. "What do you mean?" As soon as Mo Qianqing finished speaking, a storm had already formed in his hand. It was like a huge ball that he hurled at Yin Luofeng. Seeing that Yin Luofeng was in danger, Cha-Cha rushed over hurriedly and barked at Mo Qianqing. Its eyes were fixed on the huge ball of wind. Even though its body was trembling in fear, it did not retreat. Because Yin Luofeng ignored Cha-Cha. Her expression did not change as she said calmly, "I am Zhu Qian's reincarnation. That is why his remnant soul gave Zhu Qian's inheritance to me." Chapter 1438. Buzz. Mo Qianqing's mind went blank, and Yun Luofeng's words echoed in his mind. "Because I'm Zhu Qian's reincarnation. That's why he gave his inheritance to me." Yes, how could someone as cautious and aloof as Zhu Qian casually give his inheritance to someone else? But it was precisely because the person in front of him was a woman that he didn't think in that direction. However, when Mo Qianqing regained his senses, he saw that the powerful force had already broken through Yun Luofeng. It was like a huge mouth that was about to swallow the youth who was standing in front of Ji Jiuqian. "No, don't!" Mo Qianqing finally panicked. He madly rushed toward Yun Luofeng as if he didn't care about his life. Before the force could swallow Yun Luofeng, he swiftly rushed in front of her and stretched out his arms to block the destructive force. Boom. The force struck Mo Qianqing's back. He opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. The bright red blood landed on Yun Luofeng's clothes and dyed it red. At this moment, the youth no longer had the arrogance and dominance from before. His handsome little face was extremely pale, like a fragile doll that caused one's heart to ache. "I should hate you. You've hurt me so many times and locked me up here for 1,000 years. But why can't I hate you at the last moment? But this is also good. If I can die, I won't have to suffer anymore. I won't have to wait. You made me immortal to punish me. But do you know that I really yearn for death? Zhu Qian, if in the next life, I will never fall in love with you again. Never. 1,000 years of waiting. Did you know the pain in his heart? It really was one wrong step, and every step was wrong. If he hadn't turned love into hate, would he not have lost him? Zhu Qian, actually, I've already decided to die with you all those years ago. And if there's a next life, you'll be a man, and I'll be a woman. If you're a woman, I'll be a man. In this way, you won't have the chance to refuse me? The young man's body finally fell heavily to the ground, head first. The moment he fell to the ground, he felt as if a hand was holding onto his body, and the other party's beautiful face seemed to be moved. That was enough, wasn't it? He kept saying that he hated him, but could he really hate him? For 1,000 years, he had been deceiving himself and others. The dragon's soul seemed to have sensed the youth's situation and let out a sorrowful wail. This wail shook off the layers of dark clouds, revealing the azure sky once again. Zhou, did I do something wrong? Yin Luofeng lowered his eyelids and asked. No, you're not wrong. You're just trying to live. Yes, she just wanted to live. That was why she was willing to take a gamble. They were betting on whether Mo Qiansheng still had feelings for Zhu Qian. It was obvious that her gamble had paid off. In Mo Qiansheng's heart, Zhu Qian still occupied a very important position. He absolutely could not let Zhu Qian die here. That was why she told such a lie. I'm sorry. Yin Luofeng slowly placed the youth on the ground. People are selfish. I'm also very selfish. I don't want to die here, so I can only lie to you. Just then, the entire ground started trembling as countless rocks rained down from the void, as though they were going to bury the entire world. Not good. Ji Jiutian's expression suddenly changed. Mo Qiansheng cannot die. If he dies, we'll be trapped in this illusion forever, unable to leave. Chapter 1439. Yin Luofeng seemed to sense something, and her eyes were a little surprised. The heart of this illusion is Mo Qiansheng himself. Zhu Qian actually used Mo Qiansheng himself as the array. He created this illusion. If Mo Qiansheng died, they would definitely be left in this place forever. If you want to save Mo Qiansheng, he will one day find out that you are pretending to be Zhu Qian. Are you sure you want to save him? Ji Jiutian noticed Yin Luofeng's thoughts and asked in a low voice. Yin Luofeng fell silent. If Mo Qiansheng stayed by her side, he was indeed a ticking time bomb that could explode at any time. It would bring great danger to her life in the future. But Yin Luofeng raised her head slightly. Mo Qiansheng cannot die. I must leave this place as well. All right, Ji Jiutian smiled. Then no matter what you do, this seat will support your decision. Hearing this, Yin Luofeng no longer hesitated. She placed her arm on Mo Qiansheng's back and sent spirit energy to his wound. Fortunately, the little tree's chrysanthemum flower continuously provided spirit energy to the divine grimoire space, so she could use a lot of spirit energy. Even so, when saving Mo Qiansheng, she was not as attentive as she was to Yun Xiao. Saving his life was enough. After a while, the eyelashes of the youth on the ground fluttered, and he slowly opened his eyes. What entered his eyes was a beautiful face. The girl's appearance was peerless. Her black hair fluttered in the wind, and her dark eyes shone with a deep and dark light. You're all right. Mo Qiansheng was startled and slightly pursed his thin lips. Why did you save me? If you die, Ji Jiutian and I will stay in this illusion forever and will never be able to leave. This time, Yin Luofeng did not lie and told him why she saved him. Mo Qiansheng lowered his eyes, and a bitter smile appeared on his fair and handsome face. I knew that you would never care about me. You only think that I am disgusting. Why would you care about my life or death? Yin Luofeng threw Mo Qiansheng to the ground. The pain on his back made Mo Qiansheng groan. His delicate brows furrowed. He clearly could not stand Yin Luofeng's attitude. I don't have as many feelings for you as I did for Zhu Qian in the past. Therefore, I really don't care about your life or death. The young girl raised her eyebrows and said calmly, Even though you were injured while trying to save me, I will never forget that you tried to kill me and Ji Jiutian. Do you think that I would be so kind as to care about an enemy? Mo Qiansheng's body trembled, and he lowered his head. Even if she wasn't the Zhu Qian from 1,000 years ago, she still hated him, but Yin Luofeng paused for a moment before saying, Back then, Zhu Qian locked you up in this place for the sake of your life. What Ji Jiuqian said was not false. You're saying, Mo Qianchang bit his lips and looked up at Yin Luofeng. Back then, you didn't hate me? Yin Luofeng couldn't bear to see the joy in the youth's eyes. Zhu Qian is Zhu Qian, I am me. However, she was not Zhu Qian after all. She did not have many feelings for Mo Qiancheng. I know, Mo Qiancheng smiled bitterly. The you now is not the Zhu Qian of the past. You're not as powerful as he was, and you've even become a woman. To me, you no longer have that familiar feeling. Chapter 1440. But I don't mind continuing to follow by your side like before. Can you give me another chance? The youth's voice was filled with pleading. He had been alone for 1,000 years. He didn't want to be alone any longer, no. Yin Luofeng rejected Mo Qiancheng without hesitation. Who knew if Mo Qiancheng would go crazy after seeing Xianxia? She couldn't keep this ticking time bomb by her side. Mo Qiancheng was a little disappointed. I know you won't forgive me. I helped others deal with you before, and now I want to kill you because I didn't recognize you. How can you forgive me? Perhaps he would never be able to get her forgiveness even if he spent his entire life. But the youth pursed his lips. His face was pale under the sunlight. I will use my efforts to show my determination. One day, you will continue to accept me. Yin Luofeng didn't answer the youth. She walked over to Ji Jiuqian and carefully helped him up. She took out a spirit medicine and fed it to Ji Jiuqian. The spiritual power of the divine grimoire space could not heal all injuries. Only external injuries could be healed. For example, Mo Qiancheng's back had been blasted open by spiritual power and was bleeding nonstop. At this time, it was necessary to use spiritual power to staunch the bleeding. Ji Jiuqian's internal organs were injured. Spirit power could only play a supporting role. He needed spirit medicine to recover. Seeing Yin Luofeng feed Ji Jiuqian medicine, Mo Qiancheng was a little angry. His silver hair fluttered in the wind, and anger flashed through his eyes. Zhu Qian, my name is Yin Luofeng. Yin Luofeng glanced at Mo Qiancheng and said indifferently. Mo Qiancheng's anger disappeared miraculously when he saw the girl's gaze. However, he was still very dissatisfied. If he wasn't afraid of Yin Luofeng getting angry again, he might have already attacked Ji Jiuqian. It was like this 1,000 years ago. He clearly knew Zhu Qian first, but Zhu Qian's relationship with Ji Jiuqian surpassed his. Furthermore, after he confessed, Zhu Qian was very cold to him. Now it was still like this. How could he be happy? Can you tell me how to leave this illusion? After Yin Luofeng fed Zhu Qian the elixir, he turned to look at Mo Qiancheng. Mo Qiancheng was taken aback, and a trace of doubt flashed across his eyes. Wasn't this illusion set up by you? Why don't you know how to leave? Yin Luofeng's heart suddenly froze. She steadied her mind and said, I don't remember the past. Almost forgot. You've reincarnated as a human. How could you remember what happened 1,000 years ago? Mo Qiancheng was suddenly enlightened. Not far from this cave, there is a switch. You can open it and leave. At this point, Mo Qiancheng slightly pursed his thin lips. It's a pity that I can't go to that place. Once I go there, my whole body will become numb. Furthermore, spirit beasts can't go there either. Otherwise, I would have commanded the spirit beasts in the illusion realm to open a path for me. Cha-Cha, you stay here. Yin Luofeng glanced at Cha-Cha and instructed. Woo-woo. Cha-Cha whimpered and squatted on the ground obediently, staring at Yin Luofeng. Don't worry, I'll bring you along. As for the spirit beasts in the divine grimoire space, as long as they didn't leave the divine grimoire space, there wouldn't be any problems. Chapter 1441. I'll go with you. Ji Jiuqian propped himself up and landed beside Yin Luofeng in a red robe. Your injury, it's fine. Don't worry. All right. Yin Luofeng nodded. She raised her head and walked forward. It had to be said that this cave was very long. It was so long that one could not see the end of it from afar. If we leave, will Mo Qiancheng leave as well? Yin Luofeng frowned. He had noticed the anger and murderous intent in Mo Qiancheng's eyes when he fed Ji Jiuqian the medicine. It was too dangerous to keep such a ticking time bomb by his side. There's a way to get rid of him. Jiutian smiled. Find Zhu Qian's reincarnation as soon as possible and push the blame to her. Then, even if he finds out that you're pretending to be Zhu Qian, you'll still be able to return the favor. Yin Luofeng glanced at Jiutian. Are you betraying your brother? There's no other way. Jiutian smiled wickedly. Letting Zhu Qian be pestered by this guy is better than letting him follow us. Don't you think so? That's a good idea. Yin Luofeng rubbed her chin. She might be able to get rid of Mo Qiansheng as long as she found Zhu Qian's reincarnation. It seemed that she had to find Zhu Qian after leaving this place. All right, what should we do if Zhu Qian still refuses to accept Mo Qiansheng? Jiutian fell silent. After a long while, a sinister look flashed across his eyes. Do you have any medicine that can change his sex? If you turn Mo Qiansheng into a woman, you might be able to marry him. Yin Luofeng's eyebrows twitched. If I have such a medicine, I'll turn you into a woman first. Then, you might be able to get married immediately. You won't have to be a virgin for the rest of your life. Jiutian's face darkened. Would this woman die if she didn't mention those words? As they spoke, a secret door appeared in front of them. Yin Luofeng raised her hand, gently pushed the door open, and slowly walked in. Yin Luofeng was stunned when she saw the scene inside. The entire room was filled with treasures. Whether it was medicinal herbs, books, or weapons, there was everything. There was even a blood-colored spring in the middle of the room. The gurgling sound of the spring water was like the sound of bleeding, making one's hair stand on end. However, there was not a trace of blood in the spring water. Instead, it was filled with a faint fragrance. When Yin Luofeng inhaled this fragrance, he felt the spirit energy in his body increase a little. Master, it's the blood spirit spring. If you soak in this blood spirit spring, your strength will increase very quickly. We're rich this time. Little Mo's excited voice sounded. His voice was like that of a starving man who had seen delicious food and could not wait to devour it all. On the other hand, Jiutian wasn't very surprised. His eyes were still smiling. I never thought that Zhu Qian would hide all of his treasures in this illusion. No wonder so many experts couldn't find anything back then. Feng, as Zhu Qian's successor, it's only right for you to inherit it. Yin Luofeng fell silent. She didn't know why, but she felt that everything was predestined. For example, she had once obtained Zhu Qian's puppet technique, and in order to refine a puppet, one must have a lich bone. That was why she had come to this illusory realm. Chapter 1442. It was also because she wanted to refine puppets that she had stepped into this place and seen all of Zhu Qian's treasures. Ha ha ha! A maniacal laugh rang out. Xianxia, who had been fleeing for his life, charged out as if he had gone mad. He laughed maniacally as he stared at the treasures in the room. I'm rich this time. These are all mine. His eyes turned bloodshot as he glared fixedly at Yin Luofeng and Jiutian. Whoever dares to snatch my treasures, I'll take him down with me. Yin Luofeng stared coldly at Xianxia, who had charged out. Her peerless features were filled with a sinister chill. Actually, she had sensed that Xianxia had been following them secretly, but she had ignored him. She never thought that Xianxia would lose all sense of reason and charge out upon seeing the treasures. His eyes were bloodshot, and his greedy expression could be seen clearly. Xianxia hugged one of the long swords and wished that he could lick it clean. Back then, he had not done so in the end. He had only protected the treasured sword in his arms tightly as he glared at Yin Luofeng and Jiutian with bloodshot eyes. Everything here is mine. Get out of my sight, and don't you dare lay a finger on my treasures. As long as I have these treasures, my powers will increase by leaps and bounds. From now on, who on this mainland would be a match for me? Ha ha ha! Xianxia burst into maniacal laughter at the thought of this. His disheveled hair swayed with his maniacal laughter, and he looked like a madman. Get out, all of you, get out. When he saw that Yin Luofeng and Jiutian had remained silent, he continued to roar angrily in an attempt to chase them out of his territory. That was right. After discovering these treasures, Xianxia had gone completely mad. Even his fear towards Ji Jiuqian has disappeared, and he has turned the room into his territory. I had initially wanted to leave this place first before dealing with him. But now, Ji Jiuqian smiled eerily. I have no choice but to kill him first. Boom! A powerful aura arose with a bang and crushed Xianxia so much that his entire body trembled. He then fell to the ground with a thud, because when he fell, he wanted to find the handrail and accidentally smashed the ceramic jar on the side, revealing the hidden button on the ceramic jar. In the meantime, Xianxia pressed his hand on the button. With a bang, the button exploded, sending his body flying. Boom! The entire space began to crack, and the room began to tremble as if it would collapse at any moment. What's going on? Yin Luofeng frowned slightly, and a serious look flashed in his eyes. No! Suddenly, a terrified voice came from the front. When Yin Luofeng turned to look, he saw that Xianxia's body was gradually becoming transparent, as if he would shatter at the slightest touch. Under his terrified gaze, he saw his body slowly disappearing. Not long after, his vision turned blank, and he gradually disappeared from the room. Disappeared? Yin Luofeng frowned, and a cold look flashed in his eyes. Is he dead? Or, before he could finish his question, a familiar and arrogant voice rang out in this space. My successor, you finally appeared. Looks like you've obtained my books and are here for the Lichbone. A transparent and domineering figure slowly appeared in front of the two. Chapter 1443. The man in front of him was also dressed in red. Compared to Ji Jiuqian's monstrous talent, this man was more aloof and arrogant. His eyes seemed to look down on the common people, as if he was a high and mighty king, looking down on the ants beneath him with an arrogant gaze. That's right, it was ethereal vision. Only a truly powerful cultivator would have this kind of gaze that looked down on the common people. Just this gaze alone was enough to kill everything in an instant. Zhu Qian. Ji Jiuqian's expression was exceptionally ugly. Back then, I was wondering why your soul was so weak. No matter how serious your injuries were, it was impossible for you to be this weak. However, what I didn't expect was that you would divide your soul into several parts. Do you know that your actions will affect your talent after you reincarnate? Zhu Qian raised his chin arrogantly. His figure was tall and domineering, like a huge mountain, making it hard for people to breathe. This was Zhu Qian, the divine doctor Zhu Qian who had caused everyone to tremble in fear. After coming to this illusion, there is only one way to leave. That is, to inherit all of my abilities, and after passing the test, I will naturally let you leave. Yin Luofeng narrowed his eyes. Mo Qiansheng said that there is a switch here that can let me leave the illusion. Is he lying to me, or? No, he doesn't know anything. Indeed, the one who had set up the illusion was Zhu Qian. Mo Qiansheng only knew that he could not get close to this place and must have felt that the switch was definitely here. He did not know that there was only one way to leave after stepping into the illusion. All right. Yin Luofeng took a deep breath. Tell me, how can I leave? Zhu Qian's transparent figure in front of him was unable to conceal his domineering aura. He was so powerful that people who stood in front of him would feel suppressed. First, you must break through 3 levels consecutively. Breaking through 3 levels consecutively meant that he had to break through from the middle level of a holy king to the middle level of a holy venerable. My man is still waiting for me outside. Can I bid farewell to him before completing the test? Zhu Qian's voice was still domineering. If you can't complete the test, you won't be able to leave. Hearing this, Yin Luofeng's brows twitched again. She thought of the people at the spirit heaven realm. The same stubbornness and tyranny. Back then, Yin Xiao had given her the celestial spirit mirror, but she had unintentionally entered the celestial spirit mirror on the way to meet Yin Xiao. She had originally begged that person in the celestial spirit realm to let her save Yin Xiao first before continuing with the assessment. That person was equally stubborn. If he didn't complete the mission, he wouldn't be able to leave. Fortunately, the time in the spirit heaven realm was different from the outside world, so she was able to make it in time and face those strong enemies together with Xianxia. You said that this was only one test. What about the second one? Yin Luofeng asked. For the second test, you must successfully create a puppet. If you can't create a puppet, you won't be able to walk out of this illusion. Not to mention that the first assessment required a lot of time. The second assessment also required a lot of time. Who knew when he would be able to create a puppet? Yin Luofeng was silent for a moment. I can stay for the test, but I have a request. I hope that my spirit beast can appear. With such a good thing like the spiritual blood pool, she definitely wanted to share it with her spirit beasts. Perhaps during this period of time, her spirit beasts could increase their strength by more than one level. Zhu Qian swept a domineering gaze at Yin Luofeng. Spirit beasts can appear in the first place. I just don't allow those spirit beasts that already exist in the illusion to come here. Those spirit beasts that you brought are naturally allowed to appear. It was Mo Qiansheng who misunderstood. Chapter 1444. Zhu Qian, can I ask you one last question? Yin Luofeng's pitch-black eyes stared deeply at the man in front of her. How can I find your reincarnation? Zhu Qian still said the same thing. You'll know when you see him. Boom. At that moment, Yin Luofeng felt an explosive pain in her head. She frowned as if something had exploded in her mind. After a while, a memory that did not belong to her surged into her mind. In that memory was a young man who had been abandoned by his family and betrayed by his companions. He had walked step by step toward the supreme position and had even become an unparalleled powerhouse, speaking of which, she and Zhu Qian were very similar. They had both come from the lowest level of the Roaring Dragon continent. They had then gradually stepped onto the Wuhui continent and finally arrived at the Seven Continents. However, what surprised Yin Luofeng even more was that this memory contained all of Zhu Qian's life's knowledge. The problems that she didn't understand from the puppet creation book were suddenly solved, as if she was suddenly enlightened. Now, you have inherited my past memories. Zhu Qian looked down at Yin Luofeng from above. With these memories, you can successfully forge the puppet technique. I have even passed on all my battle techniques to you. I hope you cherish them. The pain in Yin Luofeng's mind finally disappeared. She looked up at the man in front of her. Back then, when I met your first remnant soul, why didn't you pass these to me directly? Instead, you lure me here? Back then, you were still weak. Knowing too much wouldn't do you any good. Furthermore, I haven't passed on all my memories to you yet. There are some things that you can't come into contact with your current strength. How could Yin Luofeng not understand the meaning behind Zhu Qian's words? She pondered for a moment before slowly saying, "Thank you." Zhu Qian took one last look at Yin Luofeng. Those domineering and arrogant eyes were filled with gratification. It seemed that Yin Luofeng's current achievements had already made him very satisfied. Zhu Qian. Seeing Zhu Qian's figure gradually become transparent, Ji Jiutian frowned slightly. Do you still remember what you promised me back then? Zhu Qian smiled. It had to be said that this man was very good-looking when he smiled. He was not as arrogant as he used to be. Instead, he gave people a feeling that he was as beautiful as a painting. She's my successor, so it's only natural for her to help you. Ji Jiutian did not continue to pester her. His expression was very calm, and an undetectable ray of light flashed across his phoenix-like eyes. Yin Luofeng suddenly had a bad feeling as he listened to the conversation between the two of them. It seemed like she had been sold by Zhu Qian. Zhu Qian, your reincarnation can't help me? Ji Jiutian was silent for a while before he asked the last question. Zhu Qian shook his head. Back then, I split my soul to guide my successor. Because of that, my soul became exceptionally weak. Even though I've already reincarnated as a human, based on the current state of my soul, I won't be able to achieve what I once did. So, the only one who can help you now is her. Zhu Qian's arrogant and domineering figure finally disappeared after he finished speaking. The entire room fell silent. Ji Jiutian, help me call TT over. Yin Luofeng added, the rest of the spiritual beasts will enter the spiritual blood pool to cultivate first. With a treasure like the spiritual blood pool here, she believed that it wouldn't take long for her to break through to the mid-level Holy Venerate. Chapter 1445. Time flowed like water. Unknowingly, 3 years had passed in this illusion. Yin Luofeng's talent was indeed very strong, and with the help of the spiritual blood pool, she had only spent a year to break through from a saint ruler to a mid-level saint venerable. In fact, at this level, unless one had the help of rare treasures, they might not be able to break through even after 10 years. Therefore, Yin Luofeng's luck was pretty good. She actually obtained Zhu Qian's inheritance. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to possess the spiritual blood pool and reach the mid-level holy venerable realm in a short year. Unfortunately, even though she had become a holy venerate, she could not leave this illusion. Therefore, she spent the next 2 years researching the art of puppetry. The creation of puppets was extremely difficult. She had spent an entire 2 years before she was able to thoroughly study it. Unfortunately, even if she had thoroughly studied it, she might not have been able to succeed. Within 2 years, the beasts broke through one by one. First of all, fire had directly broken through the saint's sovereign realm and reached the low level of the saint's sovereign realm. Even Xiao Mo could not compare to her and only stayed at the high level of the saint's sovereign realm. Of course, if he was given a little more time, he would also be able to break through the Saint Venerable stage and enter the Saint Monarch stage. In addition, Milk Tea and the Mouse Queen had both reached the middle stage of the Holy Master a few months ago. Meng Meng also advanced yesterday and became a gold-seeking mouse at the middle stage of the Holy Master. The residents of the Rat tribe also changed their previous strength. The weakest among them was a high-level Holy King, and most of them had broken through to a low-level Holy Venerable. Although TT was stronger than fire in the beginning, his innate talent was not as good as fire, and his absorption speed was slower. Therefore, his current strength was only at the level of a Saint Lord. Even though both spirit beasts were saints, it was a pity that one of them had broken through from a low-level Saint King to a saint, while the other had already become a Saint Venerate. The difference in talent between the two was obvious. The only one that people couldn't see through was the small tree. Even Yin Luofeng didn't know what realm the little tree had reached. During these 3 years, fire and the other spirit beasts were busy cultivating. The people of the Rat clan were unable to absorb spiritual energy to break through, so their cultivation method was to swallow the spring water of the blood spirit spring. It was estimated that only the Rat clan could do this. If other spirit beasts swallowed the spring water, they would immediately explode and die. But the sapling was just playing in the spring. There were no signs of a breakthrough, but for some reason, everyone noticed that there was a great change in his body. That change surpassed everyone else's. Under the azure sky, Yin Luofeng was busy fiddling with the puppet in her hands. Mo Qianchang sat to the side, staring at her with infatuated eyes. That gaze seemed to pierce through that body and see an old friend from 1,000 years ago. I finally succeeded. The girl slowly heaved a sigh of relief and stood up from the ground. She wiped the sweat off her forehead, and her lips curled into a shallow smile. In front of her lay a chestnut-haired little Lolita. This little Lolita's eyes were also chestnut-colored, and her gaze was dull. However, under Mo Qianqing's astonished gaze, the little girl slowly stood up. Her eyes seemed to be covered by a thin layer of mist, appearing dull and lifeless, but her limbs were very nimble, not stiff at all. "You created a puppet?" Mo Qiancheng excitedly rushed towards the little Lolita. He raised his hand and touched the little Lolita's extremely elastic skin. His eyes flashed with excitement. This skin is no different from human skin. It is too elastic. Zhu Qian, you are really amazing. Chapter 1446. I said, "My name is Yin Luofeng." Yin Luofeng glanced at Mo Qianqing's excited face and said indifferently. Mo Qianqing's eyes darkened, and he lowered his gaze to hide the disappointment in his eyes. "I'm sorry, I won't call you by the wrong name again. What if he made another mistake, and Zhu Qian didn't want him? This puppet is not perfect." Yin Luofeng's lips curled. Her strength is only at the low level of a holy king. To me, a puppet of this strength is not enough. Mo Xianxia nodded, not fully understanding. You mean the still fail? No, she is only a semi-finished product. Fortunately, I have studied for 2 years and finally understood the essence of puppet making. This time, I have 100% confidence that I can make a complete product. In these 2 years, she had wasted many materials. The only good thing was that Zhu Qian had prepared all the materials for her, so she had the capital to waste. After saying this, Yin Luofeng no longer paid attention to Mo Qiansheng and continued to make the puppet seriously. Mo Qiansheng silently retreated to the stone. He rested his chin on his hand and could not bear to look away from Yin Luofeng. Time passed slowly. This time, Mo Qiansheng did not have to wait too long. Another puppet appeared in front of Yin Luofeng. Compared to the previous puppet, the one in front of him was no longer a cute and harmless little Lolita. Instead, it was a well-dressed man. This man's muscles were tight and well-defined, and he looked powerful. Even if his appearance was ordinary, he would still stand out in a crowd. Mo Qianxing's small face immediately darkened, and he said angrily, Yin Luofeng, why did you make a man? However, Mo Qianxing, whose face was originally filled with rage, suddenly revealed a smile on his face as he seemed to have seen something. Yin Luofeng looked at Mo Qianxing strangely. Was there something wrong with this guy's brain? One moment he was angry, the next he was smiling. Could it be that he had gone crazy after being locked up for too long? Roar. Because the dragon spirit in the lich bone had been released, it was now quietly staying by Mo Qianxing's side. It did not know why Mo Qianxing's expression changed so quickly. It roared in confusion, its eyes full of doubt. Mo Qianxing was very happy. While Yin Luofeng was creating puppets, he had forgotten to create something very important to men. Therefore, even if this puppet possessed a human consciousness in the future, it would still be a eunuch. Yin Luofeng, I knew that you were good to me. Mo Qianxing smiled brilliantly, revealing 2 canine teeth. Otherwise, you would not treat this puppet like this. After saying this, Mo Qianxing rode the giant dragon soul and soared into the sky. Right at this moment, Ji Jiuqian walked to Yin Luofeng's side. Yin Luofeng was like a monk scratching her head in confusion. She pointed at her own head and said, Is there a problem with Mo Qianxing? Ji Jiuqian stroked his chin and nodded seriously. I think so. If there wasn't something wrong with his brain, as a man, how could Mo Qianxing fall in love with Zhu Qian? How is it? Ji Jiuqian's phoenix eyes swept over and landed on the muscular man behind Yin Luofeng. He narrowed his phoenix eyes slightly. This is the puppet you made? Yin Luofeng nodded. Unfortunately, I still can't let him have human consciousness. Chapter 1447. It's already very good that you were able to successfully create a puppet. As for consciousness, Ji Jiuqian paused before continuing. Back then, Zhu Qian researched for many days but was unable to find a perfect method. The book that Zhu Qian left behind only mentioned a method to make a puppet gain consciousness. Unfortunately, even Zhu Qian only managed to find a little bit of it and had not developed a complete method before he met with an unexpected calamity. One day, I will successfully create a puppet with consciousness. Yin Luofeng's voice was very firm. Now that I've completed the test that Zhu Qian gave me, we can immediately leave the illusion. 3 years. She had stayed in this illusion for a whole 3 years and did not know what had happened in the outside world. Would Yun Xiao be frantically searching for her? Suddenly, Yin Luofeng felt an imprint in her divine sense. She was slightly startled, and a trace of confusion flashed across her eyes. What is this? Master, Little Mo's voice sounded from within her soul. You've completed Zhu Qian's test, and he has already given you the illusion. From now on, you can come and go as you please in this illusion. Hearing this, a trace of joy flashed across Yun Luofeng's eyes. Did this mean that she could also send people from the army to cultivate in the illusion? If I control this illusion, what will happen to Mo Qiansheng, who is the heart of the illusion? Yin Luofeng's eyes flashed as she asked in a low voice. Little Mo pondered for a while before replying to her. Master, Even though Mo Qiansheng is the heart of the illusion, he is not a treasure nor a spiritual beast. You cannot force a contract with him. Therefore, he will follow by your side for the rest of his life. If he finds out that you are impersonating Zhu Qian, he will definitely bring danger to you. Yin Luofeng was a little disappointed. She had originally thought that once Zhu Qian had transferred the illusion to her, the ticking time bomb that was Mo Qiansheng could be removed. Furthermore, Mo Qiansheng cannot die. If he dies, the illusion will collapse. To master, the gains do not make up for the losses. Little Mo continued. However, the only good thing is that Mo Qiansheng cannot leave the illusion temporarily. Temporarily? What does that mean? Does Master know why Mo Qiansheng's cultivation speed in the illusion is so slow? That was also purposely set up by Zhu Qian. When Mo Qiansheng reaches a certain level of strength, he will be able to leave the illusion. Yin Luofeng's heart suddenly tightened. It looked like she had to quickly increase her strength to deal with the dangers she would face in the future. Whoosh! Mo Qiansheng flew down from the sky on his dragon. He seemed to have sensed something as he stared at Yin Luofeng. Are you leaving? He pursed his lips and asked in a low voice. Yes. Yin Luofeng nodded. I still have family and friends outside. I can't stay here forever. A red light flashed in Mo Qiansheng's eyes. He forcefully grabbed Yin Luofeng's arm and said in a fit of pique, You're not allowed to leave. I won't let you go. I've waited for you for so many years. Why did you abandon me? Mo Qiansheng, let her go. Ji Zhoutian's eyes flickered with blood-red light as he stared at Mo Qiansheng coldly. Not to be outdone, Mo Qiansheng glared back. Don't think that I don't know that you want to snatch her from me. I won't let her go. If you want to leave, you can leave alone. Just as Ji Zhoutian took a step forward, Yin Luofeng raised his hand to stop him. Chapter 1448. Mo Qiansheng, let go of me first, she said with a slight frown. Mo Qiansheng was startled. He then realized that he had used too much force and caused Yin Luofeng's wrist to turn red. His heart tightened and his eyes filled with pain. He was so nervous that he could not even speak properly. I didn't do it on purpose. Does it hurt? I can help you rub it. Mo Qiansheng, I have already taken control of this illusion. When I leave, I will bring this illusion with me. Similarly, you will be by my side, Yin Luofeng said solemnly. Mo Qiansheng's heart leaped with joy, as if he did not dare to believe Yin Luofeng's words. You won't abandon me? You are willing to take me with you? Yin Luofeng nodded and said, Moreover, in the future, my subordinates will enter the illusion to cultivate. Before Mo Qiansheng saw through her lies, the people around her would be safe. Even if the army entered, there would not be any losses. All right. Mo Qiansheng's gaze was fixed on Yin Luofeng. You are not allowed to lie to me. Otherwise, I will not let you off. As he said the last sentence, Mo Qiansheng's body was filled with hostility, and the red light in his eyes became more and more intense. Ji Zhoutian, let's go. Yin Luofeng took one last look at Mo Qiansheng before turning her gaze to Ji Zhoutian. We have stayed here for 3 years. It's time for us to leave. Since she was the current owner of this illusory realm, she only needed a flash of thought to leave the illusory realm. Of course, she left the beasts in the illusion to continue cultivating. Yin Luofeng did not know that in the 3 years that she had left, the central continent had undergone earth-shattering changes. 3 years ago, a ray of light suddenly flashed in the illusion of the sorcerer demon tribe. Then, Xianxia's figure appeared in the square of the sorcerer demon tribe. When the clan leader of the sorcerer demon tribe heard this, he immediately led his men there. Who knew that Xianxia would keep laughing like a madman? The clan leader wanted to ask about Yin Luofeng's situation, but the madman Xianxia only said a few words. They're all dead, all dead. When these words were spoken, the clan leader's heart skipped a beat. All dead. In other words, apart from Xianxia, all the people who entered the illusion were dead? Unfortunately, the clan leader's words came too early, because after Xianxia said those words, his body became transparent and was gradually disappearing. Seeing this, The clan leader angrily rushed towards Xianxia. He grabbed his collar tightly and scolded angrily. "Xianxia, did you kill them?" Xianxia merely sneered at the clan leader. Then, he didn't even have the time to say a single word before he was annihilated and vanished in time. But the smile he left behind at the end still caused Xianxia to misunderstand. It was someone from the Poison Valley who killed Yun Luofeng. Therefore, he immediately gave the order to find Yun Luofeng's family, planning to inform them of this news. Without waiting for the news of Yun Luofeng's death to reach the ears of her family, the people from the Poison Valley once again came knocking. Xianxia, who had already been poisoned, was on the verge of death under the attacks of the Poison Valley. Fortunately, Grandpa Jun arrived in time to kill those people from the Poison Valley. Grandpa Jun had just found out that Yun Luofeng was his own granddaughter. He had also heard that she had come to the Lich's bone. So, he had rushed over in excitement. Who knew that he would receive such a grievous news? Can you understand the feeling of having just received news of a loved one's death, only to receive grievous news when he came looking for the news? Chapter 1449. Grandpa Jun, who had been in high spirits, aged decades in an instant. His back was bent as he left the sorcerer tribe with a face full of sorrow. Someone had to pay the price for Grandpa Jun's sorrow. He blamed everything on Poison Valley. That was why he charged into Poison Valley alone and began his massacre. At the same time, news of Yun Luofeng's death spread throughout the continent, enraging all sides. Hong Wan was in the East Continent, and the West Continent College was in the West Continent. Both of them launched their attacks on the Poison Valley. Even though the Jun family of Ling Continent did not send their experts, the old master of the Jun family alone was enough to crush the Poison Valley. The Valley Master of Poison Valley was scared out of his wits. Who would have thought that an unknown person would attract the attention of all the powerhouses from all the continents? What angered him even more was that Xianxia, that bastard, had offended that woman named Yun Luofeng of all people. That was why the Valley Master retreated to God Burying Mountain with a group of confidants in order to survive. If the most dangerous place in the Roaring Dragon mainland was the Forest of No Return, then God Burying Mountain was the most dangerous place among the 7 continents. It was said that even deities would have a slim chance of survival if they entered God Burying Mountain. The Valley Master would rather die in God Burying Mountain than fall into the hands of the enemy. Moreover, he might be lucky enough to survive God Burying Mountain. The actions of those from Poison Valley were very useful. When they saw that they had escaped to God Burying Mountain, the other powerhouses stopped. However, everyone stood guard outside the mountain. If anyone from Poison Valley came out, they would kill them without hesitation. Just when everyone thought that no one except for those from Poison Valley dared to enter God Burying Mountain, a handsome man in a black robe flew into God Burying Mountain under everyone's watchful eyes. Aside from his handsome looks, the man's aura was even more imposing. Even those who got close to him could feel his cold aura. That was why no one dared to question him when he entered. It was only after he disappeared that everyone realized what was going on. Where did that man come from? I'm not sure, but his aura was too frightening. I felt cold all over when I was standing beside him, as if I could die at any moment. He could kill with his aura alone. Just how powerful was this man? Perhaps only the old senior of the Jun family would be able to stand against him. Zhongzhou state. In the old mansion, Grandpa Jun was crying like a child. His old face was covered in tears, and his eyes were filled with grief. Mudong sighed. It's been 3 years. Even if she's dead, almost 3 years have passed. How long are you going to cry? The one who died wasn't your granddaughter, of course you're not sad. Grandpa Jun sobbed nonstop. Those bastards from the Poison Valley, they actually dared to touch my granddaughter. If they fall in my hands, I'll make them suffer a fate worse than death. The corner of Mu Dong's mouth twitched. He wanted to say something, but in the end, he helplessly shut his mouth. Forget it, he couldn't provoke this old man any further, lest he rushed into God Burying Mountain to settle the score with the people from the Poison Valley. After all, 3 years ago, the old man almost rushed in. If he hadn't arrived in time to stop the old man, The old man might have already been fed to the spiritual beasts in the hidden God Mountain. It's already been 3 years. Perhaps the people from the Poison Valley have already died on God-burying Mountain. That place is so dangerous that even we don't dare to step foot there, let alone them. Chapter 1450. Mudong smiled bitterly. Besides, we didn't even see Yin Lass's corpse. How can you be so sure that she's dead? The people from the Witchcraft Valley said that it was the Poison Valley who killed my granddaughter. Grandpa June gritted his teeth. Moreover, they also sensed that there was a change in the illusion. My granddaughter is definitely not around. Back then, when he charged into the East Continent and learned from the East Continent's lord that Yun Luofeng was Jun Er's daughter, he was so excited that he could not wait to find her and hug her tightly. But fate made fools of people. He had not even had the chance to meet his granddaughter before he received such a grievous news. How could he not be sad? So what if it's been 3 years? He would never be able to walk out of this grief for the rest of his life. Jun Lingtian, aren't you going to tell the Jun family about your relationship with Yin Lass? Mudong asked with a frown. Grandpa Jun shook his head. It's enough for me to be sad alone. Why let others be sad with me? If Yin was still alive, I would definitely introduce her to the Jun family. But she's no longer here. If I tell them, wouldn't everyone be sad with me? Grandpa Jun continued to sob at this thought. His tears flowed like a river, causing Mudong's expression to become helpless. He had heard Grandpa Jun cry every day for 3 years. Who knew how much torture he had suffered? Wasn't this old man afraid that he would cry himself blind? But Mudong felt pity when he thought of the young girl who wrote down the answer that day. Because of the Poison Valley, the mainland had lost a peerless genius. They had to bear this responsibility. That's right, Jun Lingtian. I heard that 3 years ago, there was a man who charged into God-burying Mountain. That man should have a good relationship with Yin Lass, which is why he took such a risk. His goal was to kill the people of Poison Valley. Hearing this, Jun Lingtian glared at Mudong. If it wasn't for you, bastard, stopping me, I would have already rushed in. I won't be happy if I don't kill those people with my own hands. It's fine if you stopped me back then, but now you have to watch me every day? I only want to avenge my granddaughter. So what? Mudong was no match for Jun Lingtian in terms of medical skills. However, there was not much of a difference in her strength, so all those years ago, for the sake of entering the Divine Vault Mountain, Jun Lingtian and Mudong stood there for an entire half a month before stopping. But from then on, Mudong stuck close to him, afraid that Xianxia would take things too hard and rush into God-burying Mountain again. That man is the Ghost Emperor. Grandpa Jun glanced at Mudong and sighed. I've also asked around. Yin'er had gone to participate in that examination to meet the Ghost Emperor. The two of them are husband and wife. At this point, Grandpa Jun looked at the blue sky in the distance and said faintly, this Ghost Emperor is a loyal and affectionate person. In order to avenge Yin'er, he dared to charge into the hidden God Mountain. However, he has already been there for 3 years. Whether he is dead or alive is still unknown. If this man is the Ghost Emperor, I believe that he is still alive. The Ghost Emperor was a new legend in the 7 continents. It was said that he was very young, possessed extraordinary strength, and was cruel and merciless. This kind of man, no matter what, will come back alive. Mudong, how long are you going to follow me? Grandpa Jun had just stood up when he realized that Mudong had also stood up. He roared angrily, his tear-stained face full of anger. Chapter 1451. I'll follow you until you give up on entering the Hidden God Mountain. I don't mind fighting with you for another half a month. Hearing this, Grandpa Jun swung his sleeves angrily and left. When he thought of his pitiful granddaughter, his tears flowed once again. At the same time, in a dangerous mountain range on the central continent, Hong Wan's body was in the midst of a horde of spiritual beasts. Her eyes were filled with ferocity as her attacks mercilessly pierced through the chests of the spiritual beasts. Surrounded by so many spiritual beasts, Hong Wan suffered heavy injuries. Even so, she managed to hold on with her own willpower. Finally, the last spiritual beast fell. Hong Wan coughed and spat out a mouthful of blood. Her beautiful features glowed with a pale light under the sunlight. Yin Luofeng, Wait for me." She propped herself up and wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth. Her domineering eyes were filled with unswerving determination. "Once I'm strong enough, I'll enter God-burying mountain and find those people from Poison Valley to take revenge for you. If they have already died in the buried God Mountain, I will whip their corpses for 100 days to relieve the hatred in my heart." The constant exhaustion caused her body to weaken, and she almost fell to the ground. Fortunately, she managed to stab her sword into the ground and stabilized her body. "Yin Luofeng, do you know that every time I charge into the most dangerous part of the mainland, I always feel a little afraid? But every time I think of you, I have the motivation to work harder. The Ghost Emperor told me that you're not dead. One day, you will appear before us, and before you return, he will deal with your enemies." So, he went to the hidden God Mountain. "Now, can you show yourself and tell us that you're still alive?" Tears streamed down Hong Luan's exquisitely beautiful face. Her eyes were filled with sorrow and pain. Every time she thought of the name Yin Luofeng, her heart would thump violently. The pain was so unbearable that it was unbearable. "Yin Luofeng, I'll wait for you for a little longer. If you don't appear, I'll go to the buried God Mountain and find the people from the Poison Valley. If I'm unfortunate enough to die in the hidden God Mountain, I can go to the Nether Realm. When that time comes, we will be like before, side by side." Hong Wan's expression became resolute once again as she walked deeper into the mountain forest. For the past 3 years, the places she had been to were all dangerous places in the mainland. Only places like these could help her raise her strength. Fortunately, she was able to walk out of these dangerous places alive. At this moment, Yin Luofeng had just left the illusion, so he did not know what was happening on the mainland. More importantly, the illusion didn't send her to Sorcerer Mountain, but to the bottom of the mountain. Because of this, she had missed the opportunity to learn about what had happened on the mainland in the past 3 years. "I've already disappeared for 3 years. Yin Xiao and Hong Wan must still be waiting for me. Let's go find them now." In the past, Yin Luofeng might have gone to Witch Mountain to say goodbye. But to her, saying goodbye was a waste of time. Yin Luofeng seemed to have suddenly thought of something and said, "However, before I leave, I still have something to do. I'll wait for you here." Ji Jiuqian raised his phoenix eyes and glanced at Yin Luofeng as he spoke with his devilish voice. Yin Luofeng nodded lightly at him and walked toward a small house in the town. An old man was working outside the hut. When he saw Yin Luofeng walking towards him, he was stunned. Chapter 1452. "Miss, it's you." The old man stood up and chuckled. "That's right. Not long ago, I saw Miss Ying. She seemed to have come back crying. What happened?" This old man was the place where Yin Luofeng had stayed when he came to Sorcerer Mountain. It was also in this old man's house that he had met Huang Yingying. Huang Yingying came back crying? Yin Luofeng was stunned and frowned. Could it be that something had happened while he was away? "I'm here to fulfill a promise." "Promise?" The old man was stunned and looked at Yin Luofeng in shock. "I didn't pay you when I stayed here that day." Yin Luofeng's voice rang out, "So before I left, I promised to find someone to keep you company." The old man didn't understand what Yin Luofeng meant. Just as he was pondering, he saw a little lowly walk out from behind the young girl. This little lowly was very cute. She was about 6 or 7 years old, and her delicate face was cold. Her eyes were empty and lifeless, like a puppet on strings. "From now on, she belongs to you." The old man was dumbfounded. Just as he was about to ask more questions, he suddenly found that the young girl who had been standing in front of him had disappeared, leaving only this little lowly in front of him. "Little girl," the old man was overjoyed, but he was more uneasy. "If you're willing, you can stay here from now on." The little lowly didn't answer the old man's words. Her expression was still as cold as ever. "You don't know how to speak?" The old man suddenly realized. "It's okay. It's enough as long as you keep me company." Just as the old man smiled and was about to let the little lowly enter the house, a few hooligans rushed over from behind. "Old man, you've already owed a month's worth of protection fees. If you don't pay this month, I'll throw you to Sorcerer Mountain to feed the spiritual beasts." A large man fiercely stepped forward and stabbed the knife in his hand into the ground as he threatened in a cold voice. The old man was so frightened that his entire body trembled. Can you owe it for another month? Humph. The burly man sneered, his lustful eyes glancing at the little lowly beside the old man. It's not impossible if you want to delay the payment for a month. How about using this little lass to pay off the debt? Hearing that these people wanted to snatch the little lowly away, the old man's eyes immediately turned red. No, this girl is my granddaughter. You can't take her away. Granddaughter? The burly man laughed and raised his hand to grab the little lowly. Who doesn't know that you're a lonely old man? You don't even have a son and a granddaughter? I don't know where you abducted this girl from, but now leave her to me. Boom! Just as the burly man's hand was about to grab the little lowly, a small fist suddenly landed on his chest. In an instant, the little fist pierced a bloody hole through the burly man's chest. His eyes were wide open, and he fell straight to the ground, dying with everlasting regret. Little Lolita's expression was still as cold as ever. Her eyes were empty and lifeless as she coldly looked at the big man who had fallen in front of her. Although the puppets that Yin Luo Feng had refined now had no flesh and blood, they would obey orders and protect their master until death. Everyone was scared silly. Even the old man was dumbfounded. No one would have thought that this seemingly harmless little lass would have such a powerful strength. Only now did the old man understand what kind of treasure Yin Luo Feng had given him. Chapter 1453. It's too much of a waste to give such a treasure to an old man like me. It's just a lodging fee. It doesn't need so much money. The old man sighed. He was very grateful in his heart. He knew how big of a favor he owed. Where did you go? Ji Jiuqian saw Yin Luo Feng walking towards him from afar and raised his eyebrows. Return the money. Yin Luo Feng shrugged, her evil eyes landing on Ji Jiutian's flirtatious face. You're not going to leave? Ji Jiutian smiled seductively. You don't want me to accompany you. I'm going to find my man. Do you want to follow me? Ji Jiutian's eyes immediately became full of resentment when he heard the girl's words. Woman, you're burning bridges after crossing the river? If you want to follow me, I don't mind. Yin Luo Feng smiled at the resentful Ji Jiutian, a ray of light flashing across her dark eyes. Ji Jiutian smiled evilly. Forget it, I won't disturb you. Also, if you're in any danger, you can find me at the West Continent Academy. I won't be leaving the West Continent during this period. All right. Yin Luofeng's teasing expression changed as she looked at Ji Jiutian. Thank you. Ji Jiutian had helped her too many times. Even if he had helped her because of Ju Qian, she still owed him many favors. After saying goodbye, the two went their separate ways. What Yin Luo Feng didn't notice was that after Ji Jiutian took a few steps, he turned around and watched her back until she disappeared from his line of sight. Master, where are we going next? Little Mo's voice came from within her soul. Yin Luo Feng thought for a moment. It's been 3 years. I don't know if Xianxia is still in the withered dragon town. I'll go and take a look first. Also, I need to visit the Jun family in Ling Continent. Now that her strength had increased, it was time to find the Jun family and understand Jun Fengling's background. However, as she had been missing for 3 years, she did not know much about the situation on the mainland. Therefore, she randomly grabbed someone and asked, "Did anything happen on the continent during these 3 years?" That person was obviously startled by Yin Luo Feng. When he turned his head, he saw a beautiful woman. He was in a good mood as he replied, "If we were talking about major events, then it would be the East Continent's Continent Lord Manor and the West Continent Academy joining forces to attack the Poison Valley." Oh, right. I heard that the Jun family's old Master Jun also went. 2 great forces joining forces to attack the Poison Valley? Could it be that the Poison Valley had done something infuriating while he was gone? At this time, Yin Luo Feng did not link the situation in the Poison Valley to himself. After all, she had always believed that the members of Poison Valley were all dead, and she had also suffered some losses at the hands of Poison Valley. Why would the 2 great factions be so impulsive as to seek revenge from Poison Valley? Therefore, she pondered for a moment and asked, "Do you know the reason?" That young man was clearly startled. He said carefully, "It's best that you don't ask about this." No one is allowed to mention this situation on the mainland. Otherwise, if you accidentally offend the two great factions, you will definitely be in trouble. Everyone thought that Yun Luofeng was dead and was devastated. Because of this, no one dared to even discuss Yun Luofeng's name, afraid that they would offend him. The reason was back then, someone was discussing Yun Luofeng's death, and Hong Wan happened to see him. In a fit of rage, Hong Wan immediately beat up that person, almost beating him to death. She even gave an order that if she heard anyone discussing her friend's death again, she would not let that person off. Chapter 1454. Miss, I advise you not to ask. No one will answer your questions. The young man was afraid that Yun Luofeng would ask more questions, so he quickly waved his hand at her and left in a hurry. Yun Luofeng was shaken and her brows furrowed. She grabbed another person and asked the same question, but she received the same answer. This made her very confused. What on earth had happened for these people to keep their mouths shut? No matter what, when she meets Yun Xiao and Hong Wan, she will understand. Yun Luofeng did not stop at the thought of this. She quickly headed towards the direction of the dead dragon town, the shaman demon ancestor. The clan leader was lying sickly on the bed. His face was deathly pale, and it was obvious that he was beyond cure. Just then, a guard hurriedly rushed in and reported, "Clan leader, something bad has happened. Something bad has happened." The two elders who were guarding the clan leader's side heard this, and their faces sank. Their stern eyes swept towards the guard who was charging towards them. Their elderly faces were clearly filled with anger. "I have already given the order that no one is allowed to disturb us. Have you forgotten?" The more he spoke, the angrier he became. The clan leader was already so sick, and these people still dared to disturb him. Thump! The guard hurriedly knelt on the ground and said in a trembling voice, "Clan leader, the illusion where the shaman demon's bone is stored has disappeared." "What? The illusion has disappeared? How is this possible?" In this world, there are many people who steal treasures, but no one has ever heard that an illusion can be stolen. Hence, there is only one explanation. The illusion has disappeared. That's right. This illusion has not been stolen by anyone. Instead, it has disappeared from this world and will no longer exist. The elder's expression turned extremely ugly at the thought of this. He instinctively looked towards the middle-aged man who was lying on the bed and realized that the man had opened his tired eyes at some point in time. The illusion has really disappeared? The man's voice was filled with weakness, and his breathing seemed like it would disappear at any moment. Reporting to the clan leader, "The illusion has really disappeared." The guard lowered his head and reported respectfully. The clan leader laughed bitterly. His laughter was filled with helplessness. 3 years ago, the people of the Poison Valley claimed that Yun Luofeng had died. In fact, in these 3 years, many people held great hope that she was still in the illusion and had not come out. But the clan leader closed his eyes and his pale face was filled with helplessness. But now, the illusory realm no longer exists. Miss Yun is definitely not in this world. Patriarch, should we let the saintess know about this? The elder pondered for a moment before asking. The patriarch shook his head and said, "I can't." 3 years ago, when the holy maiden heard the news of Yun Luofeng's death, she rushed back from outside. No one could stop her. In order to calm the holy maiden's emotions, I fabricated a lie, saying that Yun Luofeng didn't die and that he was only trapped in an illusion. If the holy maiden completed the inheritance, Yun Luofeng would be able to return. Because of this, the holy maiden went to receive the inheritance. Now that 3 years have passed, she has also reached a crucial moment. We absolutely cannot disturb her, otherwise, all our efforts will go to waste. Boom! In an instant, not far from Sorcerer Mountain, there was a thunderous sound. All the spiritual energy gathered in one place, forming a vortex in the sky. It was very spectacular. Chapter 1455. The Holy Lady has succeeded. The elder was overjoyed. Once the Holy Lady had completed the inheritance, it meant that the sorcerer demon tribe survival was guaranteed. Cough, cough. The tribe leader coughed dryly and tried to get up from the bed. "Bring me to the back of the mountain. I want to see the Holy Lady. Tribe leader. The elder hurriedly went forward to support the tribe leader's weak body. Your body is too weak. You should rest here. I will go and see the Holy Lady. No. The tribe leader insisted on getting up. The Holy Lady has completed the inheritance. Her status is higher than mine. As her subordinate, I have to see the Holy Lady. Seeing that the tribe leader was determined, the elder did not say anything else. He sighed and helped the tribe leader out of the room. At this moment, the clan leader's body was swaying unsteadily, as if he could collapse at any moment. That once high-spirited and vigorous man had disappeared 3 years ago. At the back of the mountain, as the stone door opened, a beautiful girl in yellow walked out. She was no longer as young and lively as she had been 3 years ago. Her little face was cold and arrogant. Her body exuded a strong power, causing the sorcerer demon tribe members who had come to welcome her to kneel on the ground. "Welcome, Your Highness," the crowd shouted in unison. Their voices pierced through the clouds and pierced through the void. It was deafening. "Please come." The girl waved her hand. The sorcerer demon tribe members who had been kneeling on the ground seemed to be forcefully pulled up by a force. Their eyes were filled with shock. The once weak girl had transformed into a butterfly after receiving the inheritance. She was incomparably powerful. "Holy Lady." The tribe leader walked over quickly with the help of the elders. His face was filled with relief. "Congratulations on successfully inheriting the Holy Lady's inheritance." The girl's eyes swept across the crowd and landed on the tribe leader. Her cold face finally lit up with a smile. "Tribe leader, can I go to the illusion and save Miss Yin?" Huang Yingying had been brought up well since she was young. She had always understood the meaning of gratitude. If it had not been for Yin Luofeng's help, she would not be where she was today. She would not have been able to take revenge. She would have died at Oya's hands. Therefore, she had never forgotten that it was Yin Luofeng who had given her the status she had today. This was why, after learning of Yin Luofeng's death, she was so heartbroken. She rushed back without caring about anything else and planned on getting even with the clan leader, who knew that the clan leader would tell him that Yin Luofeng was not dead. She was merely unable to leave the illusion. As long as he succeeded in the inheritance, he would be able to release her. It was precisely because of this that she'd stayed in the back mountain for 3 years, and her objective was to obtain the inheritance. The patriarch's expression was a bit hesitant. In the end, he steeled his heart and said, "Your Highness Saintess, something big happened today. The illusion disappeared." "The illusion disappeared?" Huang Yingying's smile froze. "How could the illusion disappear? You're lying to me. Take me to the illusion now." "Saintess," the clan leader laughed bitterly. "What I said is true. The illusion has really disappeared. As for Yin Luofeng, it is unknown whether he is dead or alive." Up until now, the patriarch still hadn't said anything too definite. Only using the words life or death is unknown. But no matter how naive Huang Yingying was, she understood the meaning of these words at this time. If the illusion disappeared, how could Yin Luofeng still be alive? Huang Yingying's footsteps staggered, and she stumbled back a few steps. Her face suddenly turned pale and as fragile as a piece of paper. Chapter 1456. Back then, my family was killed by Oya. I suffered all kinds of hardships, and no one ever cared about me or helped me. It was Yin Luofeng who appeared. Not only did he heal my injuries, he also gave me warmth. That was the only warmth I had ever had in my wandering years. If Yin Luofeng had only helped her, perhaps she would not have placed him in such an important position in her heart. But imagine, her parents had died, and she did not have any relatives. She had suffered all kinds of humiliation and torture. Not only was her throat injured and her body covered in scars, she had to watch her enemies enjoy life, and she was almost killed by them. At such a time, someone appeared and healed her, took her to take revenge, gave her the greatest warmth, protected her under her wings, and did not give her enemies a chance to hurt her. If such a person really existed, would you treat her as your most important family member? Now that your family member's fate is unknown, would you be devastated? Clearly, in Huang Yingying's heart, Yin Luofeng had become her only family member. Holy Lady. Everyone was shocked and hurried forward. However, they had only taken 2 steps when they were stopped by the girl's cold shout. All of you, stop right there. Don't come any closer. Huang Yingying's voice trembled. She looked up at the feeble clan leader and gritted her teeth. Why did you lie to me? The clan leader did not know what to say, but he did not regret it. If Huang Yingying was not powerful enough, she would not even be able to protect herself, let alone help the sorcerer tribe. That was why he let her accept the inheritance first. Huang Yingying looked at the clan leader coldly. You clearly said that as long as I accept the inheritance, I will be able to open the illusion. Why did you lie to me? 3 years ago, the clan leader had thought of entering the illusion to investigate the situation. Unfortunately, when he tried to open the illusion again, he suddenly realized that it could not be activated. Therefore, he still held on to hope. Perhaps the Holy Lady could open the illusion. However, unexpectedly, the illusion disappeared before the Holy Lady's inheritance could be completed. Holy Lady, where are you going? Seeing that the Holy Lady was about to turn and leave, the clan leader's expression changed, and he shouted anxiously. Huang Yingying stopped in her tracks and said without looking back, I'm going to find Miss Hongwan. As soon as she finished speaking, she walked down the mountain on her own. Saintus. The chief's face turned paler. He took 2 steps to catch up to Huang Yingying, but he suddenly felt powerless and fell to the ground. Lord Patriarch. All the elders turned pale with fright as they hurriedly supported the patriarch's body. They were so anxious that cold sweat flowed down their foreheads. Quick, help the patriarch down. The liches panicked. In the end, a group of people carried the chief's body towards the bedroom. I wonder how much longer the patriarch's body can last. One of the elders said helplessly, his eyes filled with worry. The holy maiden is really insensible. The chief is already so sick, but she still doesn't care. Another elder frowned, clearly very dissatisfied with Huang Yingying's behavior. Actually, you can't blame the holy maiden. Her parents were killed by the liches. Although the murderers were punished, if it were not for the liches, her parents would not have died. Therefore, she has no feelings for the liches. Now that this has happened, the elder sighed. If it were not for Yin Luofeng, perhaps the holy maiden would not have come to the liches. But Yin Luofeng had met with danger in the liches. How could she forgive them?